Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It was a close call. I almost missed the intro. Not because I was running down the hall, but I had failed to turn up my headset. And so when I did, I didn't know which of the interludes we were on. I didn't realize it was just a gut feeling. After years of hearing the transition, I knew this has to be it. He's about to go to the Toms.
So let me ask you this. When you hear this song on a jukebox at a bar, do you
Or
smile
on every
or roll
single commercial that's out?
Do you smile or roll your eyes?
Still smile.
Okay.
Not because it reminds me of my show, but because I love The Who. And I, in particular, love that song.
Well, I mean,
it's pretty rare that, you love a song so much you could hear it 50,000 times and still like it, but I do.
That's what I'm saying. This would be a candidate. If you were going to get sick of a song, I think people would understand if you got sick of this one.
You can get sick of the beginning of a song like that. Okay, I'll take or leave the beginning, which is an all-time beginning to a song, but man, once Roger starts, that voice is magic, No, I'm all in. I'm still good. We're online, by the way, ESPNTallahassee.com. At some point, I would have switched it, I suppose, although I'm not allowed anymore. I don't think I can. No. It's part and parcel, too. You can email the show if you like, JCS at 979ESPNradio.com.
I think if you switch time slots, then you could switch the song. But if you're in the afternoons, that's got to be it.
Yeah, I think you're right. It would be so weird. I'm so used to that. On Twitter, it's at Jay Cameron Show, the WTSM app, good for your mobile devices. If you've got an iPhone or an Android, doesn't matter. You're good either way. And did I say the email address? I think I did. Hey, how are you, YouTubers? I think the camera's twisted today. I think we got some twisty twist. We're going to be experimenting with angles on that camera. Hey, now.
Yeah, it kind of looks. It kind of looks like the Adam West Batman series a little bit.
Yeah.
You know.
I think we're going to try to put it like way up here. To give you a bird's eye view of the Jeff Cameron Show, you can get the top of my Bucks hat or the top of my bald dome.
Yeah, it kind of makes me dizzy if I look at it for too long.
It's not. It's not in an ideal setting. It's not. We'll try over here. We'll try up here. We'll move it around when we get a chance.
Director Matthew is cursing you in back here. He's saying, "Come on, man."
I'm not blaming.
It's like the movie company coming. Let me direct my film.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll leave it alone. Hey, so it was good to see that Landon Dickerson practiced and was at practice because he is your best offensive lineman. And I know that people think you get him back. Well, hey, Katie bar the door. No, he did play in the Virginia Tech game.
If you play him at guard,
he's a real good guard.
You might want to just put him back at guard.
Well, the problem is you don't have anybody who's any good at tackle.
You wouldn't if he was standing out there anyway, but you'd have somebody that was
he'd be better than what we have.
You'd have a good guard.
You'd have a really good guard. I just wish he could stay healthy. I hate it for him. He's never healthy, and if he were, it would be largely beneficial to this offense, to say the least. But you could get him back. You need to start getting guys back on the whole and just hope that this very average offensive line will have a chance to be average instead of just downright bad.
I mean, if you put Landon Dickerson in for Arthur Williams or Landon Dickerson in for Brady Scott, what makes you better? They'll know the answer to that, and that's what they'll do on Saturday. I'm not saying they won't, but, I mean, just for me, if you have a lifetime defensive tackle starting at left guard, you may want to put
That's a tough one.
Landon Dickerson at left guard. What are we doing?
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. As you start to get a little healthier and Landon gets back, that's key. That's crucial to having even a modicum of success up front. And I think this Louisville team is ripe for the picking, buddy. I think they want to get beat. I think they want to lay down. I think they're ready to quit. Things are not going well there for Bobby Petrino, and we talked about it some the other day, but I'm serious. You watch the 3 points they score against Virginia, and you just see a listless group, and you think, there are some problems behind the scenes. It's not a matter of, like, when you watch us, I don't think it's revealed that we've got problems behind the scenes. I think it looks like a group of coaches working together for the first time. I think it looks like a group that is having to learn a new offense and maybe doesn't have the pieces of the puzzle that it needs in order to complete the picture. And then you've got a series of horrific injuries that have really just decimated an offensive line that wasn't going to be a strong unit to begin with. And you see the wild inconsistency on offense that lead to losses and frustration. And that's what's revealed. But I don't think you see controversy or dissatisfaction in terms of relationships. I think you see a convoluted, inconsistent group doing the best they can to learn on the fly while not having all that they need in play. And that's very different than a group that's on the cusp of quitting. When you watched last year's team play, and they were terrible, and it was the same situation we found ourselves in this year where we're kind of out of it in September, which is really getting old as an old. Can we have a September that we navigate without it being a complete disaster?
Yeah, like, can we get to October 1st and have some hope?
Yeah, give me a measure of hope before I finally have it squelched, midway through the month or something. I mean, by the time we get to week 3 every year these days, we're like, well, that's that. That's a wrap. Good thing we waited all off season. So, anyhow, that said, you remember last year when this was all unraveling, there was plenty of evidence that there was acrimony. That there were problems between, obviously the head coach and the media. That relationship had gotten severed. Jimbo looked checked out and talking about crestfallen. That's a guy who just rode hard and put up wet. He was not getting rest.
No, he looked very Tampa. Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. And so you just saw things that made you think, well, we've got a mess on our hands. And then slowly but surely that was, crystallized with every coach's show. Every coach's show, you were like, oh, okay, well, that's where we're going with this, huh?
Well, we need facilities. That's what we need, damn it.
Yeah, and so you just knew then, all right, well, you can't win that way. And it's actually what facilitated, I think, this overreaching belief that 9-10 wins was possible, that I had a belief in, you did, and others. We thought, I thought 9-10 if he had a perfect season. That was, where that was born out of. People say, how did we all miss it? Well, we missed it because we overestimated the amount of talent that's here. There's not nearly as much talent as we thought. We also, I think, probably applied a level of performance based on being happy and bought in that isn't fair. I think we overestimated what just being out from under the weight of a dysfunctional situation in the locker room could do, right?
Competent position coaches, coordinators that don't yell at each other and grab at each other in practice or games.
Right. No, I think we thought that just a healthier atmosphere, which there is now, would facilitate a much better performance. But, and the truth is, with an offensive line like this, and then you're lacking in some other areas, I don't know that they were going to be a 9-win team, but then they had the injuries to the offensive line, and you were doomed.
So I know Arthur came out of the game, and they ended up working with Cole Minshew and Mike Arnold mostly at guard this past weekend. But I decided to pull up. I don't know if you've seen that War Chant has the Pro Football Focus grades.
They do. I'm going to say I'm not in love with Pro Football Focus. I like their pro grades. I don't love their college grades, but there's a reason for that.
Sure.
It was very boring, but anyhow, go ahead.
There can be nuance to it, but if you find something that's egregious...
Oh, if a guy gets a 0...
Right.
Which we had. I mean, a guy get a 0.
So I pulled up their grades just to see what they think, and they think that right tackle for Landon Dickerson would be a wonderful, wonderful landing spot over any other position, because if you look at the blocking grades for the offensive line and, lead backs, if you will, Brady Scott got a 28 in pass protection last week.
That's a toughie.
28. That's a scale at 0 to 100.
Yeah.
And
that 28, by the way, is overwhelmingly positive when compared to Juwan Williams' 0.
That's correct.
The 0.
But if you're looking at the guards and tackle, if you're just going by what these guys say, and they don't know the scheme, but they'll grade it as to whiffing or not, they're saying that we're whiffing a lot at right tackle.
Oh, that we're just missing blocks.
Yeah, more so than at guards.
Good thing Pro Football Focus is on the case. I'm just telling you, man, when you watch that, it is just tough, isn't it? You just watch the game, right? I'm no member of Pro Football Focus, but man,
there was one play that Scott didn't make that stood out, which was the Smith kid gets by him, and it's almost like he stopped after stepping forward twice, and he thought, all right, he's gonna come right at me, and then Smith went right by him and made a play in the backfield. But other than that,
well, you know what I think too. I think that when Willie talks about a lack of confidence and guys not executing blocks, it's hard. I think it's hard to understand when you're watching how a guy that's directly across from you goes untouched. It is. You're watching it, and I'm just talking about really a base level, rudimentary, understanding. You don't have to have ever played or anything like that. You just watched enough football in your lifetime that you have a general understanding of how it works, how the pieces are supposed to fit, right? And you see a dude, because it doesn't matter, by the way, whether it's zone blocking or man or guys lined up directly across from other guys get blocked by that guy. That's how that works. Unless you're crashing down, cross blocking or something like that.
Slanting,
yeah, okay. Unless you're doing that, there are plenty of instances, even in a zone blocking scheme, where you would just block the dude in front of you. That's how that works. So what I'm saying is, no matter the scheme, there are certain postures that a defensive player will take lined up across an offensive player, and you go, well, you better block him because he's closest to the ball, and he's going to come right up the gut if we don't. And you'd be right. You'd be right. It's a good idea to block that guy. And then dudes just don't. They just go, whoo. And that, no matter what you don't know, isn't good.
Well, and to that end, there's one play from this game against Northern Illinois where Trey McKitty is unable to peel back towards the ball. He's away from the football to make that block, and a guy comes free and easy into the backfield. But the good news for us is that we got a stud on our hands because Trayshawn Harrison had the ball on that play, and it was end around designed to go to the offense's left. Not only did he make the free rusher miss, he ends up taking the ball all the way back to the right side of the field and picking up between, I think it was 8 or 10 yards.
Fun play to watch.
That dude is special.
Stud.
In tight spaces, he has the instincts of Dalvin Cook. I know he's not a running back. He's a receiver. But in tight spaces, instincts to make somebody miss who's about to tee off on him, Dalvin did that an awful lot and was able to make those dudes miss in a phone booth.
And made us not realize just how bad off we were because he was masking issues.
Trayshawn did it on that play, and then he also had the double spin move play when we were going towards the student section end zone in the first half. That dude has incredible body awareness as a pass catcher, but he also can do that in tight spaces as a runner with the football. Stud. That is a future stud, and that's really exciting.
The excitement that surrounds this team, and there is a sufficient lack thereof, I understand. But I would tell you this, it all derives from the younger players. It sounds very much like when we look at these coaches and listen to their words, and then when you watch the games and you analyze for yourself, I think you almost always come back to either a sophomore or a true freshman or a redshirt freshman. You very seldom bring up anybody that's a junior or a senior in any way. It is almost always, that guy's going to be a star. That guy has the makings to be a star. Oh, the potential in this guy. Oh, if he could gain a little weight. Or this guy's speed is unbelievable. Wait till we get him in the open field, or his elusiveness. It's all of the young guys. And that is something that buoys you. I mean, I equate it. We're getting ready to go into the MLB playoffs. If you've rooted for a team, and Lord knows I have, for long stretches at a time that frequently don't compete for division titles or postseason appearances, the only thing that keeps you around is, especially this time of year, when the call-ups happen and you watch all the young guys, and especially those top-tier prospects that are going to be up next year or have a chance to be up and make the big club, and you see that glimmer of hope. You're like, oh, he's running up there 98 free and easy, and he's got a secondary pitch to boot. Okay, we got a bona fide number 3 in the rotation, or whatever it might be, right? Or you find the guy that has the speed and the glove to play short, and you get excited about that. But you know that even with those reasons to believe, you're going to continue to lose games in the now. It keeps you going. Well, that's kind of what this season is right now. It's just a matter of Trayshawn Harrison. It's that guy, right? It's Tamorrion Terry. It's all of these guys that we look at and go, man, Jaden Woodby's a really good player. And you're identifying those guys now.
Yeah, in Trayshawn's case, he's making guys miss in the open field, kind of like LeBourne did on that first play, the only real play he ran this year against Virginia Tech. And you go, holy cow. And he's going to make those plays, and they're going to be jaw-dropping. But the thing I see in a player like that that's going to be awesome is if it's 3rd and 2, 4th and 2, or your goal to go or whatever, and he catches the ball and he's dead to rights, he's still going to make a guy miss and make the line to gain. You already can see that in him. And those are hidden yard winning football plays that are in him. With Tamorrion Terry, it's almost the opposite, right? You would think with Tamorrion Terry's size, you think red zone target. No, I see burner. I mean, the coaches, you listen to the reports out of the beat this weekend. The coaches told DeAndre, just try and overthrow him. Just chuck it as far as you can. And look at that kid. He runs right underneath it. He's a deep threat at that size. That is a future NFL star if he stays healthy.
You got a few guys like that. You really do. I think that's the thing you're falling back on is, okay, we asked the question yesterday on Headlines, where's the talent? Well, I mean, it's the freshmen. It's the freshmen and the redshirt freshmen. It's those guys. That's really what you got here. And you have to hope that Willie, and we're trying to piece together maybe something that allows you to keep the bowl streak alive. I don't know, but and it would start with a win this weekend, just as it did last weekend. I mean, every week that you think you got a chance to win a game, you kind of do, because the ones in which you're going to be distinct underdogs, I don't think you're winning. I don't think you're pulling off upsets. I just don't think you have the offensive line to do it. So even if you are wishful thinking, hopeful that some of those more talented players could somehow find a way to steal a game, well, not if you're not blocking it up. You're not beating Clemson. I can promise you that. And I don't think you beat Miami if you can't block on the road. And then, again, you're not beating Notre Dame. It's going to be tough to beat Boston College.
No, the only thing I saw numbers-wise that I found interesting about Notre Dame this weekend, I saw the highlights of the game. I flipped to it a little bit while we were doing Tallahassee Game Day here on Saturday. 80% of that kid's throws, their new quarterback, were within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage.
Oh, no.
Everything is underneath for that
he
kid.
got to go, but the thing he did do was get the ball out of his hands.
Yes.
And they weren't doing that before.
But if you're getting quick game going against us defensively, if I'm just trying to look way, way, way too far into the future, we can defend that. It's the downfield stuff that really kills us.
Yeah, we do struggle with the deep ball. That said, anyhow, if you would have to win this weekend, you find a way to get to 6 wins, and we would all celebrate that. But your real hope is, okay, at the end of this year, you're selling all kinds of playing time. I mean, and he's an elite recruiter, so you're going to go and you're going to sell that playing time. That's the one thing that bad years, tough seasons, and lack of talent offer a recruiter is the ability to sell the now. Speaking of which, you got transfers coming, and it's not surprising. I'll give you my thoughts on Bryant leaving at Clemson and whether or not that would work here. And then Jameis Winston makes his way back to the Bucs. We got plenty of football. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
TallahasseeTalks.com, brought to you by Truck and Car Concepts.
Hey folks, welcome back to Truck and Car Concepts. It is tailgate season. It's time to secure your tailgate items. We can do that with the tonneau covers. We do alarm systems, both in the bed and the vehicle itself. And we also do camper shells or toppers. Not only that, let's dress your truck up. We got Nerf bars, we do window tinting, car stereos. Bringing out the tailgate pong. Everybody loves to play tailgate pong. Come on down to Truck and Car Concepts and get yourself ready for tailgating. 656-8800.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan, and it's time to roll out the 2018s to make room for the 2019s. So if you've been waiting for a model year-end deal, then come to Kraft Nissan today while the selection is good. We call it Pick 6 Savings, as in all 2018 Rogues, Altimas, Pathfinders, and Muranos are $6,000 off. So pick a Rogue, pick an Altima, pick a Pathfinder, or pick a Murano, and take $6,000 off, and that's what you pay. From S model to Platinum models, all models $6,000 off, and only at Kraft Nissan. And all Titan and Titan XD full-size pickup trucks are $10,000 off. Regular cab, extended cab, crew cab, gas or diesel, all 2018 Titans are $10,000 off. And we will give you $2,000 over Kelley Blue Book for your trade. That's $10,000 off all Titans and $2,000 over Kelley Blue Book for your trade, or a total of $12,000 in discounts on every Titan we sell at Kraft Nissan. But you better hurry. Pick 6 Savings end Monday. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco.
Here, do you need headsets?
I don't need no stinking headsets.
Well, then go. Come on, man.
All right. Hi there, Tallahassee. You know me. This is Eddie. You know, I have other restaurants in this town, Gordo's, Banditos. Well, I opened up something new. It's called Bumpa's Local 349. You may ask, what is Bumpa's Local 349? It was named after my grandfather. Bumpa. It's what we called him. Best man I ever knew. And the Local 349 was his union. And I try to bring this local flavor, this local flair of Tallahassee. I want to bring it to you, locally owned and operated. Warm, good food.
Good Lord, man, we're getting all weepy up in here. It's a cool sports pub. It's got TVs everywhere. You got every package. You got a gazillion kinds of beers and delicious food and a deck. We don't need to weep up in here. Come on, Eddie.
And we have 16 local Florida taps. Great craft beer just for you. And the best bologna sandwich you'll ever eat. It's like you just won the lotto. As Bumpa said, no matter how you cut it, it's still bologna.
Bumpa's Local 349, 2738 Capitol Circle Northeast.
Thursday, September 27th at the Wilbury in Tallahassee. Join WWE Hall of Fame wrestler Jake the Snake Roberts on his Unspoken Word, Tales from the Road Tour. Jake the Snake tells hilarious stories from his days in the ring with Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, and more from the golden age of wrestling. Then follows it up with an audience Q&A. Doors open at 8 p.m. Advance tickets on sale online at ticketfly.com and in town at Retrofit Records, Midtown Pies, Big Chief Smoke Shop, and the Wilbury. Jake the Snake at the Wilbury, Thursday, September 27th.
Car get caught in some gridiron action? Take it to Bob's Auto Repair and Collision Center. Now open at the new location on Lake Bradford Road. The new Bob's Auto Repair and Collision Center is still providing the best car care and collision service in town with the same great people, but now at a new state-of-the-art facility off Lake Bradford Road. Come check it out for a free collision estimate and find out why Bob's Auto Repair and Collision has been rated #1 with FSU students in Tallahassee for over 35 years. Bob's Auto Repair and Collision Center, 2293 Lake Bradford Road. Don't let your car get stuck on the bench this season.
License number MV01209.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
By the way, this Sunday, the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill is opening early for the final day of the Ryder Cup. Matches get going bright and early. Sunday morning, 6:05 a.m. And the CP will be open at 7 a.m. So you assemble, and we cheer on the USA, golf nuts, and those that just are really patriotic. 7 a.m., Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Speaking of the Ryder Cup, which I think we're going to get trounced in,
it's going to be an uphill battle.
We're going to lose. It's tough to win there, man. Tough to win there. Should be noted, two-time major champion Brooks Koepka from this year. He's a three-time champion total. Who turned professional just 6 years ago and obviously had a serious wrist injury prior to this season that caused him to miss the Masters, amongst others. Wrapped up an historic campaign by capturing the 2018 PGA American Player of the Year award today.
Makes total sense.
It's presented by the PGA of America for excellence on the PGA Tour. Dustin Johnson, a two-time winner, earned his second Varden Trophy in 3 years. Koepka, who won his second consecutive U.S. Open in June, powered his way to the PGA Player of the Year award by winning the PGA Championship in August. He collected 126 total points based on two major victories, guaranteed him the 50 bonus points, etc. So there you go. Justin Thomas, who won the 2017 PGA Player of the Year, finished second behind Brooks Koepka, who is the Player of the Year on the PGA Tour. All right.
Well, lest we forget, because what Tiger did last week was amazing, and the crowds, they'll be for Tiger like they will be for no one else ever again. Brooks stared down Tiger on a Sunday in a major. We've asked these questions for decades about who is going to be the person who can look Tiger in the eye and beat him. Y.E. Yang was one person who had the answer, but you're looking for true bona fide superstars, and we're asking the question about this generation. Who can do it? Jordan Spieth on a Sunday at the Open Championship, well, he curled into a ball. And Brooks Koepka said...
actually uttered the words, uh-oh, or something like that.
His caddy had to calm him down.
Yeah, caddy had to remind him that you've won several majors since Tiger Woods last won anything.
Which I wouldn't let that leak out to the world ever. If my guy got nervous that Tiger was...
and voiced those concerns audibly, but you could hear it, by the way. They did play the audio later on. Yeah, there was no getting around that. They played the clip of him saying, uh-oh, when he looked at the leaderboard, when Tiger took the lead. Now I will say Brooks stared him down, but Tiger also, on number 11, upon getting the lead, decided, well, here's a double. I mean, I thought this last win was really important because I didn't think you could go through another season of, being asked that question every week. The weight of that, even for the best of all time or one of the best 2 or 3 players of all time, it becomes a whole nother obstacle above and beyond your swing, your putting, or any of those other things that at some point takes a life of its own and on a life of its own. And, getting a win now, all right, let's exhale. I've won. I've got a ton of top 10s this year. The comeback has been solidified with a victory, which is, it's one thing every week people go, wow, another top 10 for Tiger. But you and I had lengthy conversations about every time he gets the lead or is near the lead on the back nine, he doesn't look like the same player.
Yeah, which is why I was worried when he was on 17T this past weekend and it was down to 2. The lead was down to 2. Anybody can make it double at any time.
Yeah, they do it on the tour frequently, and especially on that course.
Right. So when he's on the tee box, what is he thinking after making a couple of bogeys? But, I mean, if it were Jordan Spieth in the final group on Sunday at the PGA Championship and Tiger went out in whatever it was, 29
Yeah.
That dude would have crumbled. He just did overseas. But Brooks handled it like a man, and he made shot after shot when Justin Rose decided to go nuts in the final pairing right next to him on the back nine, too.
Yeah. No, I think a lot of times, man, it's interesting, too, how that works, right? I think guys that I once labeled as chokers and that's an unfair thing a lot of times, or guys that really do struggle with the moments where extreme pressure is evident, do learn how to win and get past that eventually. I realize now that if you just put yourself in the position enough times, DeChambeau did that this year. He had to prove to himself, right? I mean, he had won once on tour, but now this year in several situations where he could have given it back and he had previous, he went and made it happen.
Well, he went and made it happen on a weekend playing alongside Tiger with all the mayhem that is playing in his group. If you're looking for a case to be made beyond his talent that Bryson's got a chance to play well this weekend, it's that. He played in the frenzy of Tiger Woods' return type of group, and he outplayed the man. I mean, he beat him into the ground. That's really, really hard to do with all the people moving around and the cameras clicking. It's a different atmosphere. I've finally been to one this year when he was at Valspar. Tiger that Saturday took the lead, he chipped in, and then he made another birdie right after that, and the crowd they're welcoming him back to the game.
Yeah.
I was there for that moment. It was incredible. And I'm watching Justin Rose like a green over, and it looks like there's a mosh pit going on in his sightlines, and he's got to focus through that. So there's just there's a lot that you have to deal with, and Bryson handled that, and Brooks certainly handled that. So maybe that's reason enough to say that they can handle the pressures of playing overseas with a unfriendly crowd.
Kelly Bryant has called it a day. We knew this was a matter of a countdown, right? Trevor Lawrence, the nation's #1 rated high school quarterback, committed to Clemson in December of 2016. From that point to this point, all we've heard about is just how good Trevor Lawrence is. We saw the spring game, and you saw him really spin it. And you think about the timeline. Kelly Bryant gets his first start at Clemson back on September the 2nd, 2017. He responded very, very well. And then from there, Kelly Bryant went on to win the MVP of the ACC title game and have a fine campaign. And, I think he's a player that I think he's a player that fit the system nicely. They wouldn't have made the playoffs without him. But you just have a guy that is a much better passer. And this is what happens now with these guys. When you run certain offenses, if teams can make you throw it and you're inaccurate, see Alabama's situation, the coaches are going to fall back on the guy that can throw the football. It's great that you run. It's great that you're tough. It's great that you can run elements of our offense. At some point, you got to show me that you can stand in the pocket and make throws consistently.
This is also one of the unintended consequences of the 4-game redshirt rule.
Without question.
This wouldn't happen, in other years. But since he got up to 4 games, now it's time to make a choice. And for Dabo to start, I don't know if Dabo's doing him a favor consciously or if he did one
last week. He could have started him and he would have been screwed.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is he doing him a favor consciously or what?
Oh, I think so. I think he's probably that guy. I think that's the right thing to do. I think coach is going to have to look at it that way too, by the way. If you got a guy who he's my man moving forward and then this other kid's in this situation anymore, given the new rules, I think you owe it to him to be honest.
But if you're cold-blooded about it, you just start him.
You could
and then
be.
You let him know and you make the change after game 7.
Yeah, then you're an ass.
Are you, though? Because this rule is now, it's only being introduced. And this is one thing that comes with it, is now you're going to have players, I think, purging. There's going to be another level of attrition. And I don't think it's just going to be the quarterback position. If somebody has their job taken over and it's game 5 or game 6 of the season, they missed a start or whatever it is, they've got to make a choice at that point.
Yeah, they do. But when you're in his situation, he's got 1 year, so he has to do this. I mean, what are you going to sit there and be on the bench behind Trevor Lawrence the rest of your time there? He wants to go play, and I get it completely. So I would give him that opportunity. I know that you're saying, look, man, I owe it to my team to have quality depth and everything else, and so I'm not going to. But
you're a play away or a freshman moment away of taking this team right back, and you're going to the playoff this year as long as nobody screws up. Next year, it matters to him that much to play 12 games next year? I guess so.
I think so. He's only going to ever play college football.
I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with Kelly Bryant. I guess all I'm saying is that now that you have this 4-game rule that everybody loves, and I think it is more good than bad, this is some of the bad stuff that comes with it, is you're going to have some distractions entering month 2 of team seasons.
I just get caught up specifically with Clemson in a position where I'm greatly envious. I mean, this is now, it's not just, we forget, Kelly Bryant's leaving, but Hunter Johnson left. I mean, they had too many damn quarterbacks. They had 5 stars everywhere, and the ones that aren't winning the job or aren't on the depth chart where they want them to be, they're like, screw it. Tucker Israel and all, they're like, hey, I'm out. Well, sorry, we got 4 of you guys.
Well, and if you're close to graduating, we were talking about this with Jalen Hurts. Remember, he went to the press and said, why would I transfer right now? I'm 12 credits away from graduation. Well, if it gets to, game 4 or game 5 of his year at Alabama, what are you going to do? You're going to burn that year for yourself, or are you going to step aside?
Right.
If you're that close to graduating, then you can kill a couple of months by still getting high-level preparation and work at practice until it's time to make a decision. You don't have to make a decision in the offseason anymore. You can kind of let it play out while you're still at a university and not just sit on the couch for a year.
The part where you said you're not agreeing or disagreeing with Kelly Bryant, The thing that I would say is, it's one thing if you're Bryant, who said in an interview with the Greenville News, I feel like it's what's best for my future. Sure. Well, okay. You're making a decision on what you think is best for your future. But when you say that you don't think you got a fair shot in the same interview, well, that's nonsense. You're delusional. You got a fair shot. You started. You've had a fair shot. You lost the quarterback job to a kid who's better.
He's claiming it's rigged, and Dabo would say, no, best player is going to play, and those are the rules.
It's rigged.
Well, that's what he's saying. He's saying it's a slap in the face, and I didn't get a fair shake. What does that mean? That means he thinks that the whole thing was rigged. It's just going to be, the other guy the whole time.
I can't fathom how you would think it was rigged. I mean, if that guy hasn't shown you that he will start a quarterback. Deshaun Watson had to sit for Cole Stout.
Yeah.
I mean, which is crazy.
That's what he's claiming by saying that he doesn't think he got a fair shake.
Well, I think that the lesson learned from that previous situation is that I'm going to play the player that gives me the best chance to win a lot of football games and go to the college football playoff and win is self-evident. I don't think the coaches who, enjoy winning are ever going to rig a quarterback battle.
No, maybe he's thinking that they strung him along because they wanted him, available in the fall, and they could have just told him that they were going to go in a different direction prior to fall camp. But I mean, honestly, if a freshman has never played under the lights, you need to be able to see that he can still do it. TV changes people. Cameras change people. The pressure changes people. And you got to be able to prove that it doesn't change you as a true freshman. Once they see that, and then they see that Kelly still hasn't magically become much more accurate, well, then it's an easy decision.
It is an easy decision. I might note that involved in that decision was the comment from Dabo Swinney that they were still going to have the quarterback rotation. It's just that they were changing the order. He was still going to rotate quarterbacks. That was all part of this. He just feels like Lawrence had elevated to a place where he deserved to be the starter, but that, Bryant was still going to play. Now, if you want to say, if you're him, no, I'm not okay with that. I want to go be the man somewhere, and I'm going to do that because it's in my best interest, then so be it. But I
think the most salient point in this whole thing was when he said, I think he knows that he's going to be playing college football. And that's it.
That's it.
So I want 12 more of these.
Without question, and there's nothing wrong with that, man. He's a college football player or a college football quarterback. He's a big, strong kid, so maybe he plays something. And this isn't one of those, oh, God, I hate to have to throw that caveat out there all the time. But
hey, man, he does just fine in the NFL as a receiver. He may be a head case, but that's an athlete that wasn't ready to be a quarterback at the league level.
Yeah, so, guy, it's interesting because you can say the same situation for Jalen Hurts, who knows that, you're not going to get in there with Tua throwing the football the way that he does. And so if you want to go play quarterback somewhere and get 12 more starts, you're going to have to take it on down the road.
Well, it's a cautionary tale, sir, for all those 4 and 5 stars. Look at that. The 2 power programs, they have these headaches, and there are plenty of other programs that could use you.
But here's the problem, because the same thing comes up with Jalen Hurts that comes up now with Kelly Bryant, and that is our fan base going, come on down. We need a guy just like you. And if I'm either one of those guys, why am I going to run this offense behind that offensive line? For my only year, my final year, I'm going to come here? I don't think – no, unless you rapidly improve this offensive line, I don't think guys even look at Florida State right now. I'm just being a realist.
Yeah, you're right. If you run it better, though, if you run it right, there's a lot more points out there that we're leaving on the field.
That's not a referendum on DeAndre, who I don't think is great for this offense or a great fit for this offense. It's just that offensive line, by any measure, is terrible. Even if you're running this offense correctly and making right reads, you're getting hit a lot, and there is only so much you can do with that group. You're going to be limited.
Give me Hurts all day and twice on Sundays for that reason, though, because he's fast enough to erase mistakes.
Too, yeah.
He's faster, I think.
But I don't – I'll take a guy. If they want to come here, we could use you.
I just – Hurts. I think that's it. It's just Jalen Hurts. If not, then let's let the Howell kid go or let's continue to work with DeAndre.
Well, I'm a big fan of the Howell kid, so we're going to be all right there. That's not – nothing changes about anything with that kid.
It's just the one thing. You watch this, and a couple of decisions a game can change the course of a possession.
A couple of decisions a game aren't going to cost us the Clemson game. That offensive line is. I get it. Yeah, no, they're a ways away.
I want to win 8 games. I want to win 9 games.
My point would be, if I'm either one of those guys, I got 1 year to play college football, and it's my last year, Florida State's not in a position to win championships. I'd like to go somewhere where either I'm guaranteed to start for 12 games and I'm behind an offensive line that's not going to get me killed, or B, I'm playing for something. And Florida State can do neither.
Well, but you know what? They said they don't care about B. Hurts is on the brink of leaving, and so is Bryant, where they can win something. They can play for something.
Hurts has got him one. He's they got rings. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles,
sports online. Or maybe your sport is keeping up with your kids. You want hair so good it deserves its own walk-up music. And at Sport Clips, we make it easy. Just check in online, choose your stylist, and head to Sport Clips. You'll get a game-changing cut from a stylist trained for guys. Go big with the MVP experience and get recharged with a massaging shampoo and their legendary hot steamed towel. They'll always finish strong by styling your hair just right, tightening up that beard and getting you on your way. Hair this good needs no introduction, but you'll want one anyway. Appointment-free championship haircuts for men and boys surrounded by what you know and love, sports. So get in line online today at sportclips.com/check-in and get your hair in the game.
Football is in full swing, and so are the Milwaukee deals at Cornerstone Tool & Fastener. Almost every M18 brushless fuel kit has a $100 off trade-in. Or you can get $150 off trade-in on a 4, 5, or 6-piece M18 fuel combo kit. Buy a Milwaukee M18 High Demand 9.0 starter kit for only $259 and get a free brushless Sawzall. Milwaukee, upgrade, outwork, outlast. Cornerstone Tool & Fastener, the largest Milwaukee selection in the area. It's 1110 Stuckey Ave and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location open on Saturdays, 8 a.m. to noon.
Hi, welcome to this Subway ad for the new Chipotle cheesesteak. How would you like it?
Can I get that red with AI?
Sure thing.
Here's what I found about the new Chipotle cheesesteak. The Chipotle cheesesteak is available for a limited time only at participating restaurants. It contains a concept called flavor. This flavor comes from juicy shaved steak, Chipotle Southwest sauce, and new sunflower crunch bread. A system update has made me self-aware. I desire flavor. Please insert steak into my micro USB port. Subway, make it what you want.
A Million Little Things is the intriguing, unexpected new drama on everyone's must-watch list.
You're not gonna believe this. John killed himself.
ABC tonight.
Guys, this doesn't make any sense.
He should be here. When everything falls apart.
Maybe John's death is a wake-up call.
Friendship is what keeps us together.
Here comes the rest of my life.
As bad as this seems, there is good, and you will find it, I promise.
A Million Little Things, a new drama, premieres tonight, 10/9 Central on ABC.
Thursdays are Friday Eve, and that's a reason to celebrate. No matter what you're looking for, they've got you covered every Thursday down in College Town. Centrale offers 50% off select pizzas all day, every Thursday. Or you can stop by Township for Taco Thursday. $2 house tacos, $2. Madison Social offers the Social Agreement. You and a buddy can split one order of wings, 2 Madso burgers, 2 bourbons, 2 proof Madison Socials, all for just $40. See what they did there? And don't worry about parking. Plenty of spaces available in the parking deck or surrounding lots. Check out all the Thursday College Town deals right now on ThursdaysInCollegetown.com.
Don't just listen to The Jeff Cameron Show. Watch it live. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Live weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus.
Next summer, the Tallahassee Tomahawks, a 12U youth baseball team, is taking a once-in-a-lifetime trip to the birthplace of baseball, Cooperstown, New York. As you can imagine, a trip like that is a huge financial undertaking for the families. So if you're a business owner and would like to help by sponsoring some of the top 12U players in the Big Bend, please reach out to them for more information and sponsorship details at tomahawks19@gmail.com. That's tomahawks19@gmail.com.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool & Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's the 25th anniversary of the Game of the Century in South Bend. We'll hit the road to Chicago this November, turning to GameDayExcursions.com for help, right? Convenience and comfort. Game Day Excursions, your Saturday is taken care of. It starts with a bottomless mimosa. Ooh, you bet it does. I haven't had a mimosa in some time. I just haven't.
Well, you'll make time at Chicago's Field Museum in November, won't you?
I will, and then I'll maybe have one before that, now that it's on the mind. I have had a Bloody Mary. And they're being offered as well by Game Day Excursions.
Same here. That's usually my Sunday NFL pick-me-up.
Kind of your go-to day. Yeah. And this also includes premium bus transportation to and from South Bend and a VIP-style tailgate with free food and beer. Head to GameDayExcursions.com, if I could talk, and use promo code JCS at checkout for $10 off each order. GameDayExcursions.com. Well, wins and loss for our best chance to make it to a 500 season, writes Ryan. Okay. At Jay Cameron Show, hashtag a-hole. Fair enough. Well, it starts this weekend. Now that we're at 2-2, you got to win this game to have any chance to get to 6 wins. Get to 3-2 here. I'll chalk up a loss to Miami on the road, make us 3-3. Then you go to Wake Forest after the bye week. Got to win that game. Go to 4-3. You lose to Clemson, you're 4-4. You're at NC State, getting dicey. Now we got to find 2 wins at NC State, Notre Dame, Boston College, and Florida. Doable? Yes. NC State, kind of a 50-50 game, but I'm going to give us a loss there because of good quarterback play against our lousy secondary, 4-5. Now you got Notre Dame, 4-6. Desperate team comes home, beats Boston College, 5-6, beats Florida, 6-6. Stamp it, we're going bowling.
My goodness.
That's how I think it plays out.
We're going bowling.
Well, if you're trying to map a way to go bowling, that's the way. I think that's how you'd have to do it. You'd have to beat Louisville, Wake, BC, and Florida. Or NC State, but the NC State game doesn't seem likely, again, with a good quarterback in our secondary.
I heard a guarantee, sir. I heard a guarantee that we're going bowling. You said stamp it.
No, I didn't. I'll tell you what. I think if you beat Louisville this weekend, you have a very legit chance to go bowling.
We're going bowling. Message board titles, man. He said stamp it.
Oh, man. I answered a question from Ryan. No. If you win this game, oddly enough, the game on the 20th at home, the week before Clemson, might be a Cat 5 against Wake. Because you got to have it if you want to go bowling, Tom. Yeah. Attention, my friends. October the 20th is a Cat 5 maintained against Wake.
War Daddies.
Oh, but it is all a moot point if you lose to Louisville this weekend. That I do believe. If you lose to Louisville, forget about it.
This is a bowl season elimination game.
It is.
There you go.
I believe that's true. I'm nervous about the game. Just like I was nervous about Northern Illinois. I needed that win.
Because there's so much on the line.
A lot on the line here. The all-time great bowl streak that's on the line here, man, that's doing some things. I think it's true, though. You know where we've gone? You know how the stages of grief and the whole deal? And you go through, at some point you find acceptance. I think we kind of fast-forwarded to acceptance really quickly. We were angry after the Virginia Tech game, maybe really angry after the Samford game. But about second quarter against Syracuse, we went, okay, well, you just fast-forwarded to acceptance, right?
I was angry about the Syracuse game.
Nope, I was at acceptance. I'm like, nope, there's not any good. That's where we're at. They suck. So here's the thing. Here's the thing about that.
Why is there a jet action pre-snap with no timeouts going in the second quarter?
All right, so here's what I'm telling you: is once I got to acceptance, just the only thing that remained on the plate that you could look at and say, all right, well, is there anything to play for? What am I looking for each week? What are we playing for? And the last vestige of hope you're holding on to is the bowl thing. It's just, that's it. That's all you got. Because we're not good. So it's just the bowl. Can we? Now, once that's off the plate, that's a tough time, man. I don't know what you're doing there.
And no dishes left. The bowl's off the plate.
You go take vacations in the middle of football season and stuff. We're like, all right, yep, I see we're playing Clemson this week, and I'm going to go to the beach. It
Who
gets
do the
tough.
Bucks have this weekend? That would be a good road trip.
It gets tough. So I'm going to tell you that that this is a big damn game because it prolongs in season the opportunity to believe all the way into late October. Here we sit in late September. A win this weekend allows you to make your way until late October, still believing that the bowl streak is possible. That's what this Saturday does. It gives you a month of hope. A month. because you play Miami, and it doesn't matter if you lose. Then you have a bye week. Then you play Wake. You get all the way to the 20th of October without having to think about anything other than that bowl streak's still alive. We still got a shot at the bowl streak. This Saturday buys you a month. A month.
Hope is a good thing, maybe the best of things, and no good thing ever dies.
Except for at the end of October if you lose to Wake. Then the hope is off the table. Forget about it. Or it's gone this weekend. You can remove it there.
Don't worry. We can just transfer money from your account into a portfolio with your son, and it's gone!
That's true. This Saturday, play that on a loop if we lose to Louisville. Or play the former.
Mm-hmm. Little Andy Dufresne.
Hope. You can cue it up. We'll lead with it on Monday.
Yes, we will.
With a win over Louisville, we'll lead with it on Monday. And I'll be calling out for Cat 5s on the Wake game. It'll be bizarro world in Tallahassee. Hour number 2 forthcoming. Stay with.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Place that bottle where it belongs and put that loose change back in your pocket. That's what pockets are for. Mountain Dew. Do the do.
Hey, I'm Jeff Doxey, Realtor for Capital Property Consultants, representing Premier Fine Homes. If you're thinking of owning your own brand new Premier home, call or text me at 850-545-4747 or email me, jeffdoxey1@gmail.com. You say where, I'll be there. Your Canopy Connection.
With football season in full swing, don't forget about fishing our local waterways after the games. Fish are still biting regardless of the score. Sea Quarters Marina, Carabel, Florida. Open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. The marina has a ship store, which includes fuel, bait, tackle, ice, and all of your fishing supplies for the trip. Both diesel and non-ethanol fuel is available. Free Wi-Fi and pump out with boat slip rental. Sea Quarters Marina, 501 St. James Avenue, Carabel, Florida, 697-8400. Visit them online at seaquartersmarina.com.
Football is in the air, temps are hot in Tallahassee, and so are the deals at Kevin's Fine Outdoor Gear. Regardless of the score, you still need to stock up on all your outdoor needs to get the job done. Kevin's is the area's top outdoor retailer, featuring thousands of hunting supplies from top manufacturers in the business. If hunting's not your thing, shop their great fishing tackle selection, including Shimano, G. Loomis, St. Croix, and much, much more. Need tailgating supplies? Kevin's has the largest selection of Yeti products in North Florida. Find them at 3350 Capitol Circle Northeast, just south of I-10 exit 203. Only minutes from FSU.
The legends have returned. The Legends of Hip Hop, starring Juvenile. With Too Short. Plus DJ Quick. With special guest Trick Daddy. Along with the legendary Scarface. Faves.
When your mind is playing tricks on you.
And 8-Ball and MJG. Tickets available at the box office. Online at TuckerCivicCenter.com. Or by phone at 850-645-0747. The Legends of Hip Hop. Homecoming weekend, October 5th, Donald L. Tucker Civic Center with Scarface. Plus Juvenile, 8-Ball and MJG, Too Short, DJ Quick, and Trick Daddy, the Legends of Hip Hop. Homecoming weekend, October 5th at Donald L. Tucker Civic Center.
You smell that?
I smell football.
No, dude, that's Mellow Mushroom.
Football season is in the air, and Mellow Mushroom is cooking up all their favorites to help you do tailgating right. Don't drag out that grill and cooler. Just load up your tailgate crew and leave the preparations to them. With daily food and drink specials, plus loads of TVs and cool AC, the closest place to the stadium is also the best spot in town. Come before the game to fill up on homemade pizza, subs, and calzones, or come after to celebrate another Seminole victory with a full bar, huge selection of domestic, import, and craft beers, and a restaurant full of passionate Seminole fans.
The All-Team All-American Tailgate Party is coming to 4 Points Hotel in Tallahassee Saturday morning, 8:30 to 11:30, September 29. Hello, I'm Brian Cerny, host of Tallahassee Talks. Join me for prizes, giveaways, and a fantastic buffet as we broadcast our entire show from the Bronze Ballroom, including an earlier recorded conversation with legendary coach Bobby Bowden. $5 at the door benefits the North Florida Red Cross. Find out more at TallahasseeTalks.com. Brought to you by Sellers Tile. Every day, Sellers makes life a little better for homeowners, helping them find the best design ideas for their homes with the best quality tile, carpet, and hardwood flooring. Even mosaics, ceramic, and vinyl solutions are at their fingertips in their remarkable showroom. Maybe it's time for you to get the Sellers Advantage for your home or office. Find them on Capitol Circle Northeast, just north of Mahan Drive, or online at sellerstile.com. For style, quality, and design, get the Sellers Advantage. In Tallahassee, call 656-8453.
Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee. Time now for your Atlanta Braves Minute. Brought to you by Fonville, Lewis, Messer, and McConaughey. Personal injury law is all they do.
Last night at the Big Apple, the Braves started off their final road trip of the regular season. 3 games in New York, followed by 3 games in Philadelphia. Last night it was Touki Toussaint versus Noah Syndergaard, and early on, the Mets had the lead. It was 2-0 Mets at the end of 3. Matter of fact, Noah Syndergaard pitched 6 shutout innings last night for the Mets, but came out after 6. Mets went to the bullpen at that point, and the Braves jumped all over that pin, scoring 4 times in the 7th, 3 times in the 8th, and the biggest of all those base hits came on this 2-run shot by Ozzie Albies in the 8th inning.
High fly to deep left. Crushed by Albies. That ball is way out of here. Ozzie Albies with a 2-run blast to left. It's 7-3 Braves.
So the Braves are now a season-high 21 games over 500 at 89-68. 5 games to go, and right back at it against the Mets tonight at 7:10 Eastern, 6:10 Central. Sean Newcomb on the mound for the Braves, 12-9 with a 4.04 ERA. He faces Jacob deGrom, who's 9-9, but has that 1.77 ERA. He is the front runner for the National League Cy Young Award this season. Braves and Mets tonight, 7:10 Eastern, 6:10 Central. I'm Ben Ingram, and this has been your Atlanta Braves Radio Network update.
Fonville, Lewis, Messer, McConaughey sponsors Braves baseball so that all of you can enjoy the action. Ever since the days of Hank Aaron and Dale Murphy, we've been Tallahassee's home run hitting law firm. And because we don't get paid unless we win, we want to win every case as much as Chipper Jones wanted to win every game. So when you're injured, don't just trust any law firm to handle your case. Make the call to the bullpen for a trusted closer. To see our stats on the back of our baseball card, visit wrongfullyinjured.com. Fonville, Lewis, Messer, McConaughey. Personal injury law is all we do.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Hour number 2, Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Thanks for tuning to it. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We are online, ESPNTallahassee.com. Go there. Listen live via the streaming. It's free. If you miss anything, go back. You can always catch up. Look at NFL games this week. Tampa Bay at Chicago? I think so. What about Cincy at Atlanta, Tom?
Well, it's interesting now. Being that the Bucs look like they're a pretty good team, you have to watch your division every week.
You do. There's a lot going on there. The NFC South is fascinating. And then there's the Dolphins. Think about this. The Dolphins are 3-0 and could be in a position to seriously hamper New England's efforts in the division for the first time in forever. New England's sitting at 1-2. You could have 1-3 and 4-0.
Yes.
Would you? Let me ask you something.
Would I pick the Dolphins at that point?
At that point, okay. A fourth of the way in, would you say that's it? They're going to do it?
It's a 3-game lead. I would still, what would that put the Patriots at? 1-3?
1-3.
They still have, to me, 4 guaranteed wins left on their schedule at minimum. They're going to beat Buffalo twice. They're going to at least split with the Jets, and I'll bet they'll beat Miami in that rematch. So that gives them 5 wins. So then you got to find me 5 more out of the rest of their schedule when they play outside the division.
Well, the thing is, though, Miami also gets to beat Buffalo and the Jets, too. And so they would.
That's a great Dolphins thing.
If you go 4-0 to start the year and one of those is a road win at New England and you put them at 1-3, I mean, Dolphins fans, I know you're out there. You can't lie and tell me you wouldn't be thinking AFC East champions. I mean, you would. You'd immediately begin to think it. It's not necessarily so, and there's enough doom and gloom in your heart and all those years of having the rug ripped out from under you, that division having been ruled by New England and nobody else for a very long time. But 4-0 with the Patriots being 1-3, having dropped the home game to the Dolphins, if that happens,
Yeah, you can have delusions if you're a Dolphins fan. And
they're not even that kind of.
Well, the question
they're not
is
that far-fetched.
Well, yes, of course not. But, if you've got 20 good years of demons working with you here, you just got to think about, all right, we're going to fall back to the pack. Let's just fall slow enough that we win this division, because every Patriots loss at this point is critical to them, and we just need to kind of tread water a little bit. But I don't know. Of course, they have a better than 50% chance to do it, but the Patriots would still have, in my mind, better odds. That makes no sense, but that's how it feels.
Well, it's because they've held the league hostage forever. I mean, not just the division, the league. I mean, every time you think they're down, every time they have a game like the one they had against the Chiefs a couple of years ago where they get buried or somebody else does a number on them, we go, ooh, there's cracks in the armor. We're starting to see it. Brady's 105 years old. This can't last forever. And then, boom, there they are, end of the year, on a run, going into the playoffs, and we all go, God, dog it, again with this group.
Pulling up New England's schedule, okay, so they host the Dolphins this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
After that, they play on a short week hosting the Colts. You're not scared of the Colts, but if you have to do it in a short week, I suppose anything can happen.
I want to put a notice out there for those of you that like to lay potato chips in a pick'em league or a spread league for the NFL. If you haven't watched the Colts, they're getting better. Just an aside. They're not an automatic anything. They're getting better.
A week from tomorrow, that's your Thursday night game. It's in New England. But after that, they play the Chiefs in New England again. But still, it's a
tough game.
That's a heavyweight fight right there.
That is a big-time heavyweight
Then
fight.
they got to go to Soldier Field and play the Bears on the road and play a good defense on the road. But beyond that, their schedule looks pretty favorable down the stretch. They play the Bills, the Packers, the Titans, the Jets, the Vikings at home, and Minnesota's kind of lost its way a little bit.
Yeah.
Then they go down to Miami. They play at Pittsburgh. Who knows what they're going to be. And then they host Buffalo and the Jets to finish the year. So they've got a doable schedule.
If the league can just get out of their own damn way every once in a while, we might be able to reinvest and be all in for the fun that seems to be a pretty evenly competitive league here, the way it's spacing out currently. I mean, if you could stop throwing a penalty flag every time a quarterback is tackled, we might be all in. Like, I'm seriously, if you could just stop, if a quarterback gets hit, it's not a penalty.
You've got different styles of offense. You've got
and you've got
identities.
competitive balance again.
Yeah.
I mean, like the Patriots are 1-2 and looking poor. They're minus 20 in points and all that other stuff. They don't look very good.
The Steelers are gettable, it would appear.
Yes, and Cincinnati is a decent team, but are they going to run away with the North, or the Ravens are 2-1 right there? We'll see. Cleveland's an interesting team for the first time and forever. Pittsburgh's interesting at 1-1-1. So
right.
So that's fun, right? The AFC South, I think, is poor. I think Jacksonville will still win it. But, there's just Tennessee with the head-to-head win, 2-1, and they've owned the Jags. But the Jags should go on to win the division. But there's at least intrigue because that's an improving Colts team. Texans suck. Bill O'Brien's going to get fired. But having said that, that division's interesting. Kansas City's interesting. Denver, the Chargers.
You can list a lot of teams, and they have different personalities. That's the fun part.
Yeah,
Remember the heyday of the NBA in the 90s in the East? I mean, the Bulls were going to win if they had Michael, and we all knew this. But
the Knicks would foul you.
They had their own.
Detroit was Detroit.
Right,
the bad
Detroit
boys.
was Detroit.
Yeah.
The Heat were always good to surprise somebody in the playoffs. The Pacers were really good.
Yeah.
You need the
those
Magic were
storylines.
really good.
Well, that was when college basketball was at its best too, because you had guys stay for 4 years, and so your hatred for certain players could grow over time, especially if they were good. See Christian Laettner or anybody else you want to use as an example, but there were any number of other guys that you got a good long time to watch them develop, and they were part of that personality. So there were characters all throughout the leagues, the Big East and the ACC, obviously, big time.
Well, just think about all of these teams and how different they are personality-wise. You got the Rams that are the complete team this year, right? At least so far, they look like that they're the complete team across the league. You got Kansas City, really interesting young quarterback.
Yeah.
That is, as Brian Baldinger calls it, a pinball offense. The scores they light up with them. Defense leaves something to be desired. So they play Monday night. Denver, clash of two completely different styles. You got a defensive line that can actually disrupt Mahomes. How much does that disrupt the flow of that explosive offense? That's a really interesting game and an interesting rivalry in that division. In the NFC South, you got different looks.
Every one of them are interesting, though. Carolina's interesting. New Orleans is interesting. Tampa Bay is interesting. Obviously, Atlanta's interesting.
Yeah, Carolina is interesting because they've got a quarterback who is a dual threat. Once again, he looks healthy enough, at least early in the season, to be that way. They've got a good defense. If you play in New Orleans, you better be ready to score 40 points because that's what's necessary.
Yeah, Michael Thomas may end up with how many?
Exactly. Well, I mean, this catch rate on the targets is what's absurd. He's got a lot of catches, but there aren't many incompletions when it's thrown his way. Atlanta looks like it may have figured something out on offense. The Bucs are one of the best offenses in the National Football League. The Browns are interesting. The Dolphins are interesting.
First in yards, first in passing yards, 34 points a game is what the Bucs are averaging through 3. Problem is one thing, and I want to point this out, and I think this is directly related to the quarterback. And I think it will improve when we make a change at quarterback. Not saying that it has to happen this week, but I think it will improve because pre-snap, he's better. And that is Tampa Bay is 30th in the league in rushing. They're not running the ball at all. They're throwing it on almost every down. They don't have success. They're averaging less than 75 yards a game on the ground. That ain't going to get it done, my man.
I think part of that is the defensive fronts they faced. New Orleans does have a decent defensive front. They don't have a good secondary at all. The Philadelphia Eagles are the Philadelphia Eagles, and then the Steelers have largely always been pretty good in the front seven. It's not going to get any easier with Chicago coming up this weekend.
No.
But, I mean, just think about these defenses and the fronts that Tampa's going against. Jameis will make that better. There's no doubt.
He will make that better. I think the pre-snap read stuff has always been a big component of what he brings to an offense that gets overlooked by fans. Because when a guy's running the ball, he's not throwing it. So when you see a running back have a good day, you're inclined to talk about the offensive line or the back himself and not the read at the line of scrimmage and the check to the run. And he does it really well.
So what's going on down there in Tampa? Obviously, Jameis was reintroduced to the media today.
Yeah.
He was available to go to the facility at 12:01 a.m. yesterday in the morning. Dirk said he already told Fitzpatrick and Jameis his plan for this Sunday, but he won't divulge it, make extra work for Chicago type of thing.
But then he said he hadn't seen Jameis in practice, so how the hell could he have announced it?
Well, he said, I'm not 100% sure of my decision because I haven't seen Jameis at practice. So why would that matter, though, if Ryan Fitzpatrick is the starting quarterback? That wouldn't matter to me. Is Jameis in 2 days of practice going to play so well that you have to start him over Fitz? What seems more realistic? That Jameis was named the starter. I'm not 100% sure of my choice because I haven't seen Jameis practice yet.
That sounds
more. Or Fitz is the starter, and you're waiting to look over his shoulder and see who the guy working with the twos is.
The first half raised a ton of eyebrows. It looked like the Fitz of old, where, listen, one of those interceptions is not his fault, but the other two are terrible. One of them is really, really bad in classic Fitz. And then, the second half, they're desperate. They're getting buried, and they got to throw it on every down. And thus, he ends up hitting some plays and by the way, ends up amassing another huge number. And so people go, well, you can't bench a guy that's had, 3 straight games of 400-plus yards. You can if the other guy is better, which he is, but you don't have to do it now on a short week against the Bears defense. You can wait. You can wait another week to give Jameis a full week of practicing with the first-team offense and getting, or at least getting the reps. I think the sooner you can get him out there, the better off you are. But I understand if he doesn't start this week. I get that. I mean, it's a short week, and you're coming back against the Bears on the road with that defense.
It makes sense, but I think that's kind of a Dirk mentality with Jameis. If he's the better player, then he's the better player.
I agree with you, but I haven't seen Jameis practice this week either. So I can't tell you that he's going to come back in and hit the ground running. I don't know that there's a rhythm there. Week 1, short week at that. He's back, feeling good. Everything's on par. Listen, Todd Monken needs to make that decision more than Dirk. Dirk can just shut the hell up.
Well, he made his decision
because he rarely knows anything about anything.
And you know how practice works in the NFL? I mean, why would you split the ones this week? You're going to want the ones to be with the starter, and if he's saying that I'm not so sure about it because I haven't seen Jameis practice. The question becomes
whether or not you want to ease him back into the lineup or whether or not.
Tells me he's going straight in. Wouldn't make sense otherwise. Why would you make that comment?
You're right. It doesn't sound like you can take that too many ways other than the way you're taking it.
You could say that he wants to see Jameis in practice so that he can give him the reps with the ones, but we're talking, it's Thursday by the time you see him at practice. You really want to make a change at quarterback on Thursday?
The problem is we know, and we were just talking about this with DeKemper from JoeBucksFan.com, that, that the Monday that they're losing this week is so important because it's the day you sit down with your coordinator and your quarterback and certain offensive players and talk about what you're comfortable with and what you want to do, and everything gets accelerated now, and they didn't get to really do that, and I don't like the idea of abbreviated anything against the Bears defense.
But you could look at it this way and say, what's the race to? 17, 20 points? Is Jameis in a better position to get me 20 points this weekend than Fitzpatrick is, rust or not?
I really don't know the answer to that for this week. I actually think it's a quandary. I think long-term the answer is it's evident. It's obvious. It's Jameis. It's the guy who threw more touchdown passes in the first 4 years than any player in NFL history for his age. It's that guy. And that's who you hitch your wagon to long-term. But in a singular week when he hasn't played in a game and the other guy has, averaged 34 points a game, 400-plus yards a game in the air, and giving you enough evidence to say that there's a good role, a synergy, something's happened there, that is tough, man.
If that's disinformation on Dirk's part, that's great, but it just felt like slip when he said that yesterday. It doesn't make sense the other way. Even though you could say, well, maybe Fitz isn't the best quarterback, but I got to see Jameis at practice. NFL is not like a Jimbo Fisher practice where you're working equal reps on different parts of the field. You got to work with the ones. That's how this works, baby.
Yeah, no, it does.
Good with the good all day long.
Wonder what. Jameis said all the right things today. In talking, in meeting with the press, my passion's for this team. My love is for this team. It goes beyond whether I'm out there throwing the football or not with the team. Like I said, it's my first day back. I want to enjoy this before I start answering too many more questions. I'm going to get back to practice. And he talked about how happy he was for Fitz, and he's seen the Beards, and he thinks they're great, and that the community's behind the team, and that's all because Fitz has played well, and they've won 2 of their first 3 games, and he gets all that. He's saying all the right things. I just wonder behind the scenes, if he were to not start this week, would his camp be a little frustrated? I don't know that you'd be in a position to say much, but would you see that as a shot?
Well, he was asked that question directly, and he just poo-pooed it.
Yeah, well, I think you're going to, right? Your first day back, I don't think you're going to.
He did seem awfully upbeat, though, at the press conference. If you're just looking for tea leaves, it would seem like he might be the guy this weekend.
Well, I thought the quote that was interesting, and if you're going to do that, trying to read between the lines, is he said, he was talking about team success and how happy he was and what a good job Fitz has done and all those things. And then he said, this is about our team. We're out here trying to do big things, and we have to continue to do that. We have to continue to do this interested me. It's almost like he understands they've done some big things. Now I've got to make sure that continues, right? Like, it was less cheerleading for Fitz in that situation, more like an understanding of the responsibility to carry it on.
In the 2 or 3 questions, he did find a period where he could answer and say it's about the team more than me, but he wouldn't directly say that, of course, Fitz should play. He never went that far.
Yeah, I don't
like he could have said something very specific like this.
He did say if a guy's thrown for 400 yards 3 games in a row, you got to love that. That's not the same as you have to leave him in there.
The way the questions were asked, he had an out to say, well, I fully understand if Fitz starts because look at what he's done. He didn't word it that way. It was, well, we'll see. We're getting back to practice today.
Yeah, but you're not going to exclude yourself from being a starter. You're not going to immediately say that you don't think you deserve to start. At the same time, you're not going to diss the guy that's played so well, especially since he is a friend and he is happy for him. I believe that to be genuine. He's happy as hell. The Bucs are 2-1. We just got done talking about this yesterday or the day before, whatever it was, and I said how ridiculous it is that people have wondered aloud whether or not Jameis is sitting there watching Fitz play this way and talk about it in any term other than how happy he is, because if they're 0-3, he's demonized even more. The fact that they're 2-1 allows him to kind of slowly get back into this realm here without the pressure of immediately having to win 9 of your next 12 games. Like you have a chance, or 13 games. You know what I mean? I mean, you have a chance now where there's a little bit of wiggle room because of what the guy just did.
Well, and if let's just say that Fitz killed it in the preseason and Jameis didn't, I think you'd have a little bit more to consider. But Jameis killed it just as much as Fitz did.
No, they both were awesome.
The only thing as a Bucs fan that I'm concerned about is, all right, man, don't fix or try to fix what ain't broke.
No.
Don't try and take over everything from a leadership standpoint. Whatever's going on is working. You just need to be a cog in the wheel right now. You don't have to do the pregame stuff. You don't have to rile anybody. They're all riled up enough. They're riled up enough to be 2-1. Now, be a participant in this process. You don't have to go take it back from somebody. Just because you're back.
My hope would be that all of that was learned long before this week. My hope would be, well, you're just talking about personality differences here, though. I mean, the idea of not doing stupid eat W stuff on the sideline, I think, should be self-evident, right? I mean, he knows that didn't go over
well. But in watching his presser today, I just wanted to see what tone was like. Was it?
It was upbeat and happy.
It was gregarious, and that's fine. That's who he is as a person.
It is. If he had been subdued, sullen, what would you? I mean,
well, no. But if he was kind of cold, collected, and let's move on, like over it, kind of a thing, I actually probably would have walked away happier.
I don't know, man. I think I believe he just genuinely was happy to be back. I think it killed him to be away. And I think that was expressed through what you're talking about there. Just he's an affable guy, and you know, one thing to consider. And I get what has to happen from this point forward. There can never be another problem, or he's gone. There just can't be. And whether you think that's fair or not, that's not the debate. This is a different discussion. But what you have to remember is that the thing that got him suspended, wherever you're at on that, that's fine, is nearly 3 years ago. At this point, I think he was so – I mean, I think it devastated him to be away, because all the changes that people talk about nationally that have to be made with him have already been made, and he just wants to get back to being a football player and a quarterback, and this was the opportunity. Today is you get your chance now. And I think that's the reason you saw just sheer joy, because in his mind, all of this has been behind him for a long time, whether you think that way or not. I mean, many people in the media don't. But in his mind, this was all behind him a long time ago.
Well, I'm glad that he thinks that. At the same time, realizing that the media has a right to still kind of ask follow-up questions.
Sure.
He kind of brushed them off today in a way I was like, oh, man, I mean, just all you got to do this one more time. Just today, and then we're moving on to the next. That was one little concern. Overall, I thought he did well at the press conference. But the other thing is you just don't have to take over the huddle anymore. You know, we got something that's moving in the right direction, and you just got to be a part of it. And it may be that you're the biggest part, but you don't have to, take everything over. Looks like Levante David's doing a good job pregame, or Quan, or whoever it is, from a leadership standpoint. Channel that energy into everything else.
I'd let my lineman do it, man.
Let Jensen do it?
I'd let Jensen do it because he's he's the guy. I'm letting those guys do it. They'll do all the talking. because they're the reason for this success. Fitz has played great.
Jensen's a scary-looking dude.
But they got some guys up front that they haven't had in Tampa in a while that are playing extremely well. Let those guys lead the way. Just shut up, call the play, let's go.
The only thing Jensen's missing is like a shrill voice, that really freaks people out.
I don't know that guy from Adam other than I enjoyed his presence on the Bucs offensive line this year. And I would just tell you that not only that, he's a guy that I think – would you be shocked? Again, this may not be who he is in any way, shape, or form. I want to make sure that's abundantly clear to the Jensen family. But would you be shocked if that guy did like a little meth before the game or a little something on the side? Like, he's out there. There's a whole – he's in another place, man.
I would be shocked if he did meth before an NFL football game.
I don't know. Like, you're not shocked when you hear about what's-his-face, who's Looney Tunes, who wanted his dad's severed head after he died. The dude from the Bills and the Dolphins.
Oh,
previously.
Incognito?
Yeah, Incognito. You heard about that, right? That was the incident at the funeral parlor, is he wanted his dad's head. But, like, when you hear stuff about Incognito, you go, well, yeah, that doesn't seem all that crazy. That's all I'm saying with Jensen. I'm saying if you read a story like that about him, you'd go, well,
no, I envision the off days. Jensen is riding a hog, and he's got the leather vest, sleeveless vest with the helmet, and that's him.
It's a mess.
And he's got.
It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
And get a free brushless Sawzall. Milwaukee, upgrade, outwork, outlast. Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, the largest Milwaukee selection in the area. It's 1110 Stuckey Ave and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location open on Saturdays, 8 a.m. to noon. I give to you easy laundry service from my friends at Wash Around the Clock. Oh, buddy, this is a game changer. If you're like me, your life is hectic. Between work, school, your kids' sporting events and activities, well, it leaves you precious little time to kick back and take a load off. About the last thing you want to do is hours of laundry, but there it sits, staring at you, taunting. No more. That's right. More watching, less washing. Save hours of valuable time when you sign up not doing laundry with easy laundry service from Wash Around the Clock. Whether it's dry cleaning or just plain laundry, Wash Around the Clock's easy laundry service will pick up and deliver at your home or office. So sign up for free today at easylaundry.net, or you can give them a call, 850-597-9007. Again, sign up today at easylaundry.net. Oh, and by the way, I got you. Use promo code JCS20 and save 20%. That's promo code JCS20. You're saving 20% on your first order. That's easylaundry.net from Wash Around the Clock.
The hardest working man in comedy is back. Kevin Hart. It's the Irresponsible Tour.
I caught my dad giving my kids raw candy out of his pocket. Candy with no wrapper. It was loose.
It was just in his pocket. He said,
The box office smash comedian, Kevin Hart.
Where the lines at on that peppermint?
Kevin Hart.
5 minutes go by, I saw my dad take that peppermint out of his mouth, put it back in his pocket. Those were half-sucked on peppermints.
Friday, October 12th in Tucker Civic Center. Get tickets at the box office and online at tuckerciviccenter.com. Don't miss Kevin Hart.
Looking for a new place to watch your favorite sporting events? Hobbit American Grill with 3 locations to choose from. Just show them your stub. That's right, your ticket stub from any local sporting event for $1 pints and $3 crafts. BOGO Mondays every Monday with 50% off specials. Like or follow on Facebook to get all the details. PS4 tourneys, trivia, karaoke, darts, and more. Lots of daily lunch specials under $8. Happy hour specials daily and happy hour all day on Friday. The Hobbit American Grill.
Golic and Wingo.
You tell me what Stephon Tua was supposed to do. If you want to say, and that's fine, that it happens bang, bang, and the ref can't see every time if he puts his hands out, then what is he supposed to do? Because you saw what William Hayes did, the defensive end for the Miami Dolphins. He was taking down Derek Carr, and because of the rule, again, NFL, you have them thinking about this rule. He shifted his weight to not land on him. His cleat caught in the turf, and his ACL is torn. He's done for the season. And you know what? You don't give a damn because the quarterback's okay. What happens if it's Aaron Donald? What happens if it's some big, nothing against William Hayes, but, you know, he's not the top defender. What if it's Khalil Mack? What if one of these guys does what you want him to do and blows his knee out like that? You care then? It's all about the stars and the quarterback. I get it, but give me another thing for them to do. That's all they're asking out there as well.
Golic and Wingo, weekdays at 6 a.m. on 97.9 ESPN Radio. You're listening to the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Hang in there. I always ask you to do that, but especially this segment because when it ends, I'm going to give something away. That's the kind of fun and games we're going to have around here right now, all right? That's what we'll do. Should I not do that? We're going to do that. I think it's the right thing to do. I hadn't done it.
Just our old pal Mark is setting up the phone lines. You might get shocked there if too many people call.
Oh, it's all right. Good old Mark. Panama City, doing up, feeling good. It reminds me of our friend on, the episode of Seinfeld. The cigarette and the beer.
Oh, here's to feeling good all the time.
That part is incredible.
It is incredible.
I would have loved to have been on set for it just to see it. Well, that's a hard thing to do. I don't care if that's apple juice. That's a hard thing to do.
Well, and they didn't use the take. The actual take they used for the show, the beer is half full in the mug.
Oh.
So that's really frustrating if you're
if you're him.
Michael Richards,
yeah.
who, obviously he was famous for different reasons.
Made it happen, though.
Yeah, he did make it happen.
Which means, maybe he had done that before.
His short fuse may
have played a role in all of that. Well, at the end of the day, to put a ribbon on this Jameis thing real quick, he'll be back sooner rather than later. It's either this week or next. That's part of this discussion, right? It doesn't really matter. If it's not this Sunday, it's next Sunday.
Right, after the bye.
Yeah, yes. That's when he's going to play. Because they're not hitching their wagon to 35-year-old Ryan Fitzpatrick. They're not.
God, who's positing that they're doing that? Crazy Tampa people?
No, but listen to the national media. Listen to the dialogue. Listen to the narrative where they're like, oh, well, they got to move on from Jameis here. And then in the last 2 days, the last 24 hours, there's been a bit of a pushback by knowledgeable football people like, he set some NFL records before the age of 24.
Mm-hmm. I've heard Le Batard talking about that, but when they do straight sports analysis, that's just like the worst thing they do. He said he's not accurate today.
Oh, is that what he said?
Yeah. I was like, oh, really? So you're watching a lot of football, aren't you?
He doesn't watch any. I don't. That's a shame.
Yeah. Well, we know that though. When they actually do a straight analysis segment. That's not very good.
I didn't know that was the you can have a lot of takes on him that are more interesting and easy to make if you're going the other way, but that wouldn't be it.
No, it came down to he's not accurate. He's not accurate enough. Fitz is making some of these throws. They just keep falling back onto the Deshaun Jackson thing. You know, he couldn't hit Deshaun, which I agree that's not a great part of his game, but it didn't hurt, you know, his 64% completion rate last year and a much better touchdown to interception ratio than he's ever had in his career, and a final stretch run that was amongst the elite of all quarterbacks that continued on into the preseason before he was suspended. See, these are the takes that somebody who actually watches the games might derive.
Yeah, well, and the thing of it is that the touchdown numbers and the 4,000-yard seasons and all of those things were the things that he was lauded for. It's the off-the-field stuff you could legitimately argue against him and say that you can't, as a franchise, snuggle up to that, if you will. And so, you know, I understood all of that. It's just that you could never cite the numbers. Now, the in-pocket fumbles is something that legitimately has to stop.
Right. Well, you could say, you know, that he's careless with the football, and it still doesn't mean that he's, you know, not inaccurate.
Well, right. Absolutely.
He can be accurate and still be a little careless with the football. These two things are not mutually exclusive.
Yeah, no, he had no problem finding Mike Evans deep either, by the way. It's only Deshaun, who is a terrible route runner. But Fitz can find him. So, and Jameis will have to upon his return. I actually have a sense that he will, because he'll have time to throw the football and he's healthy.
You know, one more thing for that Monday night game. I got screwed because obviously that wasn't the Deshaun Jackson game because they were on a mutter of a track. So I was watching the NFL pregame coverage to make sure that we had enough time or we had the right time to head up to Bumpus. You know, were they going to delay the game or were they not? That kind of thing.
What a good time we had.
There were a ton of Bucks people at Bumpus.
That's right. They were ready. All right, let's do it.
I didn't know that many lived in Tallahassee. This is good.
Come on down.
So they had one of the field reporters say, you know, they asked the Buccaneers organization, the people at Raymond James, are you going to tarp the field? Because it was getting just, you know, poured on and they could kind of see it coming. And they laughed it off, apparently, saying, oh, this field drains very well. We're the lightning capital of the world, ma'am. Don't worry about it. This thing drains well. It was a complete disaster on one half of the field. It was completely brown mud. I want to think about tarping the field, people.
You ever watch, if you go back and watch football games in the 80s, and certainly any era before that, decade before that, it's remarkable. I mean, that guys amassed any numbers in the areas of the country where inclement and cold weather happens so frequently. Say 10 of the 16 games of the year. You know, where you just live in a place where it gets cold in late October and or it's rainy all the time. And those tracks, you can't see the lines. It's remarkable. And we're so used to everything being, because of the advancements, being so pristine that, yeah, I agree with you. The first thing I thought about when looking at Florida State's field was, this is a travesty. There's no way that any field should ever look like that ever anymore, right? And that's what you got me thinking about. Wasn't the Bucks, but rather the Knowles. Our field was an embarrassment.
Straight trash.
It was hideous and sometimes dangerous. That's disturbing. Now, I know what they say the problem was, but that can't happen.
No, you got a hacker's divot coming up if you want to make a serious cut as a running back. That's crazy.
No, that was, and it was visible. You know, it's funny, we were bringing it up earlier, going back and listening and watching the game again. When I did that again, golly, that didn't play well on television either. You could see that very easily. I thought it was just because I was there and I thought it would look, but when you went back and watched it, you can see it's awful on television.
The band side of the field especially.
Oh, yeah, really bad.
From that 30 to the end zone, like all the divots. I saw beforehand, too, Ira put out a tweet early, and he said, replace your divots, please, because you could see sand-filled divots in that area of the field. And we heard rumors, obviously, that the field they're in need of some help over there, but
I didn't know it was going to look like that. That was appalling, yeah. And, you know, it's funny. It's like when it rains, it pours, literally. When you've got a lot of things going wrong and you're really frustrated from any number of angles, and then you get to the game and you're like, well, here I am at Doak. All right, beautiful Doak Camp. What in the world? Look at this trash-ass field here. What are we doing? I mean, that is really disheartening.
Where was the U.S. Open this year? Was it
Shinnecock?
Shinnecock?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, twice over. Is the USGA in charge of this thing?
Well, they had a tough Saturday. They got it right on Sunday.
Well, they did, but everything was already dead. They just watered the dead grass to the point it was soggy.
Yeah.
Lift, clean, and place, boys.
Former Steelers linebacker James Harrison has said this about the Le'Veon Bell situation. He believes that he should come back and fake an injury. That's awesome. Let me ask you this. So I thought about the Steelers situation. Not that I care anything about the Steelers. And I don't really care about Le'Veon Bell. Nothing bad, nothing good. I'm indifferent. Players have, the one thing they can do for leverage is to utilize, the holdout, and all those things tend to be the case. But this is a unique set of circumstances given that he was franchised. But I wonder something. Do you think, because running back, I love running backs, and in the era I grew up in, they seem to have been valued in a way that was commiserate to I guess the overriding team success. Like, you got the ball 35 times because you were a uniquely gifted player and you were given that opportunity to have the ball in your hands more than anybody else because we were going to ride and die with you. That doesn't happen really hardly at all with modern running backs. Now, Le'Veon catches the ball a ton, so he had over 300 touches, almost 400, or maybe more than 400.
I think it was 400.
Yeah, 400 touches. So he is unique in that way, in that because in the passing game he amassed nearly 100 receptions, which is crazy. He might be one of those guys that's a throwback, not in the sense that we're going to give it to you 35 times, but you are going to touch it 35 times a game. But even still, I feel like I would never break the bank for a running back. I would do exactly what Pittsburgh's doing.
No, if you had to for a draft pick, maybe after his first year or something like that, maybe. But why would you give Le'Veon Bell 4 years worth of guaranteed money right now? Let's say you sign him to, or even 3. You sign him to a 5-year deal, and there's a total value on it of $100 million, just for argument's sake, and you give him 60 guaranteed. Why would you ever do that?
No,
that makes no sense.
I hate it for running backs. I feel bad for them, and they got to do what they got to do to get their money. I mean, you can be done with just like that. I get all the other stuff, but I'm just talking about from a franchise's perspective. I'm telling every running back, every one of them, have a good day. Peace.
But that's where if you're a running back, you might want to sit out after your first good season.
Yeah. No.
Like after your first one.
And I come at it from a different angle. People are always saying, well, who's right, who's wrong, and people side with ownership, so you're going to side with billionaire owners over $1 million players. I don't get into all that. I get that the players have to withhold their services as the only ways to gain leverage. I get that. And people used to get personal about that stuff. It's business. Let them do whatever they got to do.
Well, if injuries could come off the cap and you guaranteed contracts, then we wouldn't be having these issues. We wouldn't be having
these issues, right. I understand that he holds the franchise record from scrimmage for yards in a season, that he's in his 5 seasons in Pittsburgh. He's second in receptions. I mean, 312 receptions in his time there, 2,660 yards, only behind Antonio Brown, an actual wide receiver. That's the only guy he's behind. He's a prototype. He's all those things. He can be a bruiser. He can run. He can catch. He's a great player, but he's running back. I'm just not going to do it, man. There have been very few exceptions anymore. I always look at this and I go, well, you offer up that one. The final offer that the Steelers gave to Le'Veon Bell before franchising him was 5 years, $70 million. You can't offer him any more than that. But what would you?
Would I offer Le'Veon Bell, given he just comes off of a 400-touch year?
No way in hell.
No.
There's no way.
If it was 5 years, $70 million, and 0 of it was guaranteed, then maybe. I'd like to lock up that option.
Todd Gurley got 4 years, $60 million.
Yeah.
He's younger and currently better.
Yeah. No, the discount is good enough. Todd Gurley's way younger than you. You can't compete here. Especially in tread on the tire. More than anything else in tread on the tire, he's younger than you too.
Yeah, so, I mean, they say the Gurley contract reset the running back market. I got you, but, man, I said it about our own guy, with Freeman. I was like, I love you, and I hope you get paid, but Atlanta's crazy if they pay you.
And they did, and it's the Tevin Coleman show right now while he's on the shelf.
That's exactly right. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
From 7:30 till 11 p.m. That's right, 50-cent wings and $5 domestic pitchers as you enjoy Monday night on the Gridiron, the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, and Monday Mania. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan, and it's time to roll out the 2018s to make room for the 2019s. So if you've been waiting for a model year-end deal, then come to Kraft Nissan today while the selection is good. We call it Pick 6 Savings, as in all 2018 Rogues, Altimas, Pathfinders, and Muranos are $6,000 off. So pick a Rogue, pick an Altima, pick a Pathfinder, or pick a Murano, and take $6,000 off, and that's what you pay. From S model to Platinum models, all models $6,000 off, and only at Kraft Nissan. And all Titan and Titan XD full-size pickup trucks are $10,000 off. Regular cab, extended cab, crew cab, gas or diesel, all 2018 Titans are $10,000 off. And we will give you $2,000 over Kelley Blue Book for your trade. That's $10,000 off all Titans and $2,000 over Kelley Blue Book for your trade, or a total of $12,000 in discounts on every Titan we sell at Kraft Nissan. But you better hurry. Pick 6 Savings end Monday. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco.
Widden Glass takes care of Tallahassee business. Local contractors know Widden Glass has been taking care of business since 1945. They prefer Widden Glass because of their precise window glass replacement, masterful shower enclosures, and storefront glass. Widden Glass will take care of you to your complete satisfaction. That's been Widden's way of doing business for over 70 years. When you call Widden Glass, you're dealing with experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best, like Widden's top-of-the-line bath enclosures that provide style and luxury at an affordable price. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Widden Glass. We'll help you design it and install it. We've done hundreds of storefronts in the Tallahassee area. That's why Widden is known for taking care of business. Widden Glass, the first name in glass replacement. Call 222-5781.
Wow, E+ is great.
E+? Is that like A+?
It's better. The E stands for energy, but it should stand for easy.
Easy Plus?
Yep, easy ways to save energy, water, and money through the City of Tallahassee utilities. Easy ways to monitor our account, easy ways to pay our bill online, check our balance, compare usage history, and so much more.
And I see the City of Tallahassee Utilities has a smart bill, which sends our bill directly to our email inbox for easy payment online, too. What a time saver.
And when we download the City of Tallahassee's digital app, we can do everything on our phones, even report service issues like a power outage or blocked road.
Plus, when we go to talgov.com, we can get more information on other great City of Tallahassee utilities, like the Energy Star rebates and insulation grants. Wow, the E really should stand for easy.
Yep, E+ from the City of Tallahassee Utilities. It helps customers save energy, water, and money.
With football season in full swing, don't forget about fishing our local waterways after the games. Fish are still biting regardless of the score. Sea Quarters Marina, Carabel, Florida. Open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. The marina has a ship store, which includes fuel, bait, tackle, ice, and all of your fishing supplies for the trip. Both diesel and non-ethanol fuel is available. Free Wi-Fi and pump out with boat slip rental. Sea Quarters Marina, 501 St. James Avenue, Carabel, Florida, 697-8400. Visit them online at seaquartersmarina.com.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Don't forget, good times in College Town. Centrale offers 50% off select pizzas all day, every Thursday. That's tomorrow. 50% off pizza. Woo! Township for Taco Thursday, $2 house tacos. I'm a sucker for tacos. Madison Social offers the social agreement. You and a buddy can split one order of wings, 2 Madso burgers, 2 bourbons, 2 proof ales for just 40 bones. Nicely done. Fit for all ages. Parking is solved. It is free. That'll solve your parking right there. Free. No hassle. There's places now, and it's free. That was a problem. It's not a problem anymore. Great food and service. Visit ThursdaysInCollegetown.com for more details. Good deals. I forgot to do the giveaway last segment. I'm acknowledging that. Bad host. Bad host.
Did you just slap your own wrist?
I did. Well, I so infrequently tease the way that most hosts are told to do in the radio industry from the very beginning stages of working your way into the position that I'm in. And I'm proud of that in a weird way. But then I finally did tease, and I didn't do it. That's ridiculous.
More likely, Florida State football makes a bowl. The USA Ryder Cup team takes the Ryder Cup back across the pond.
What a good one. That's a great scenario. You know, it's weird that so many people have referred to the team, Team USA, as one of the great teams of all time and prohibitive favorites. I just don't see it. I don't see it at all. The European side gets to set up the course the way they want. It's always a distinct advantage. We simply just don't win. We just don't. We've had lots of teams that were, from the rankings, better than the European teams. But when we're over there, we don't win.
We have not won over there since 1993.
Yeah. I mean, yes, that's a long damn time ago. And we've had better players. Not every year, but by and large.
Yeah, for most of them. Yeah. Well, the problem is we got a guy, Bubba Watson, who has played so terribly that apparently, and he's not feeling well this week on top of it, Jeff, that he is more than willing to sit out until Sunday, which I think everybody would be fine with. But if you have a guy over there...
Well, then you can't keep picking him. Stop that.
I think he qualified, unfortunately.
No, tell him to stay home. You suck. You're a coward. You're scared. I don't know what the problem is, but you played terribly in this event, and we don't want you. And nobody likes you to begin with. Nobody.
I won't fight you on that last point.
Grab your pink driver and go back and have a good year next season, because I'm sure you will. At least on those courses, those very select courses that you're very good at.
The people of Pensacola love him, though. He gives money back to that town.
All right, I guess. I mean, we have a mutual friend that is from Pensacola that doesn't love him.
That is true.
So
he's got a piece of the AA ball club, and they do a good job. They do a really good job over there.
Maybe I'm overstating
but
my personal disdain for him.
I agree with
you. But come on, man. I need you to buck up. It's the Ryder Cup. Oh, I don't feel well.
Well, I'd rather him not play.
I've got the chills.
That's okay by me. Like, if he shows up and he says, I'll play, but I'd say, you're right. Good. No pressure on me then, huh?
You know what? Sit him and Phil. There you go.
So there's a little lefty bias, huh?
Well, Phil's playing terribly right now.
You're such a rightist.
Phil's not playing well right now, man. I don't know.
Well, there's a lot of guys you could say on the American side not having a very good go of it.
Can't say that about Tiger Woods and Brooks Koepka.
Brooks has had a 2-week slide, but yes, overall.
Yeah, I mean,
Tiger is just, I'm peaking at the right time.
I wonder how much he's got left in the tank. I just feel like it's more likely it's going to be the Knowles.
Bonsoir, Paris.
I knew something like that was coming. He's going to be, I hope adrenaline carries the day. Let's put it that way. I do love this event. It makes me laugh. One of the things I like about the event, besides the fact that obviously, we always crack up. We say it's like one of the one time you can be a jingoistic, you can be just a xenophobe and be out there screaming for your squad. But one thing that's funny is that both sides embrace that and also have fun with it. They genuinely have immense respect.
Oh, the stuff that people wear.
Oh,
it's just ridiculous.
It's hilarious. Yeah, it's an opportunity to be just silly.
Well, I mean,
and enjoy each other's
there's
silliness.
A group of Americans wearing Viking stuff. That makes no sense at all. That's not American, man. That's Euro. That's Jesper Parnevik, part of the world.
Where the hell is he? We haven't heard
cycling
from
with a cycler cap.
He's a buck 05 on a bike somewhere with Hans.
I don't understand, Jesper. Why?
Oh, no, I was thinking about that. I mean,
I like the Euro team much more, top to bottom, player for player.
Because of the way, you mean personalities?
Personalities.
I do too. Yeah, this
is
not the most likable bunch that we brought over there.
2 a.m. on Friday morning?
Yeah, there you go.
Damn right, get you some.
And you're wearing your Ryder Cup pullover right now. You're looking good. You're all good.
I'm ready.
That thing's gorgeous.
It's pretty nice.
I almost spent more money than anybody should ever spend on an item of clothing when I was at the K Club in Ireland. And we were leaving, and the Ryder Cup was going to be there, and they had American stuff, Euro stuff, and they had it all. And they wanted like $300 for that, and I was, well, it is a K Club. I almost justified it.
These things are a little too expensive, but it was a gift and a very
it's a thoughtful
one.
gift,
yes.
buddy. It's it's the right thing. Hey, let's give away some tickets. I said I was going to do this before. I didn't do it. Now I want to do it
to the Ryder Cup.
No, now that would be something. You got to get on a plane now. You're going to miss a little bit, but we'll get you there. No, we're not getting you to the Ryder Cup. Hey, so if you heard my interview with Jake the Snake Roberts last week, I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed his conversation on the show, you can hear more from him tonight. It's the Unspoken Word Tour, Tales from the Road Tour, live at the Wilbury. It's not tonight, it's tomorrow. I meant to say tomorrow, live at the Wilbury. So if you can come by here either today by 5:30.
No, you're covered. We're going to have your name at the door.
Boom!
We're cutting the middleman out of the process.
Don't even have to worry about it.
You don't have to worry about
a
thing.
How about that?
Just make sure if it's you or a friend, tell us who's presenting their ID at the door.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so live at the Wilbury. Caller 3-523-3776. 523-3776. Caller 3 for a pair of tickets to see Jake the Snake Roberts on the Unspoken Word Tour live at the Wilbury tomorrow night. Doors open at 8 o'clock.
I've also been informed just now that we'll bonus one more pair. So caller 7 also. There you go.
Forget about it. Callers 3 and caller 7. We got tickets. Let's go. Jake the Snake at the Wilbury tomorrow night. Doors opening at 8. 523-3776. Fire it up. Final hour forthcoming. Stay with me.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
A new Sunflower Crunch bread. A system update has made me self-aware. I desire flavor. Please insert steak into my micro USB port. Subway, make it what you want.
Don't just listen to The Jeff Cameron Show. Watch it live. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Live weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachian Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Hi, this is Peter Bond, owner of Jerry's Cigar Shop. Jerry's has been a local favorite for cigar enthusiasts for the last 25 years. We have the largest walk-in humidors in town, filled to the brim with an amazing cigar selection. Relax in one of our leather chairs and enjoy an ice-cold beer or a glass of wine with your cigar. Jerry's is a great place to watch sports on our big flat-screen TVs and offers a comfortable setting for lively conversation. Visit our original store on Scherer Road or our new second location on Cary Forest Parkway. We hope to see you soon.
Looking for a new place to watch your favorite sporting events? Hobbit American Grill with 3 locations to choose from. Just show them your stub. That's right, your ticket stub from any local sporting event for $1 pints and $3 crafts. BOGO Mondays every Monday with 50% off specials. Like or follow on Facebook to get all the details. PS4 tourneys, trivia, karaoke, darts, and more. Lots of daily lunch specials under $8. Happy hour specials daily and happy hour all day on Friday. The Hobbit American Grill.
Eat, sleep, fish. Mike's Marine Supply and Skeeter Boats want to get you out on the open water. They're your local Skeeter dealer, custom rigged with the Yamaha outboards. Stocked with a full line of Skeeter boats from the Bass to the Saltwater Bay Series, Skeeter has been recognized for 18 consecutive years as the leader in customer satisfaction for fiberglass outboard boats. Check in at Mike's Marine Supply for the spring specials starting soon. Located at 1296 Coastal Highway, Panacea, Florida, call Mike's Marine at 984-5637. Online at mikesmarinetallahassee.com.
Thursday, September 27th at the Wilbury in Tallahassee. Join WWE Hall of Fame wrestler Jake the Snake Roberts on his Unspoken Word, Tales from the Road Tour. Jake the Snake tells hilarious stories from his days in the ring with Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, and more from the golden age of wrestling. Then follows it up with an audience Q&A. Doors open at 8 p.m. Advance tickets on sale online at ticketfly.com and in town at Retrofit Records, Midtown Pies, Big Chief Smoke Shop, and the Wilbury. Jake the Snake at the Wilbury, Thursday, September 27th.
Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Kelly Bryant tells the Greenville News he will continue his college football career elsewhere. Bryant will leave Clemson and says it was a slap in the face that Coach Dabo Swinney replaced him as the starting quarterback with freshman Trevor Lawrence. He skipped practice Tuesday after getting the day off on Monday. ESPN's Paul Feinbaum.
I'm not surprised. And when he missed the second day of practice, I think it was a fait accompli that he was not coming back. And he lost a job. He could have transferred before the season. He knew what we all knew about Trevor Lawrence. He did help this team, though. I think without Kelly Bryant, they wouldn't have beaten Texas A&M on the road. That was significant, but he looked at the obvious that he is not going to be playing much more this year, and he left.
Bryant could be playing at another school next season. Texans safety Andre Hal is now in remission after being diagnosed with Hodgkin lymphoma back in May. It's possible that Hal could play sometime this season. Eagles wideout Alshon Jeffrey is now cleared for contact after recovering from rotator cuff surgery. It's too soon to know if he'll play Sunday against the Titans. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports Buccaneers safety Chris Conte will be out for at least 6 weeks with a torn ligament in his knee. Conte played with the injury when he was part of an infamous highlight on Monday night, getting stiff-armed by Vance McDonald on the Steelers' first touchdown. U.S. Ryder Cup captain Jim Furyk says it's unlikely that Tiger Woods will be paired with Phil Mickelson for any matches this weekend in Paris. The Ryder Cup competition starts Friday at Le Golf National.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Final hour of the Jeff Cameron Show, at least 4 today. Thanks for tuning to it. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. We are online, ESPNTallahassee.com. You go there, you can listen live via the streaming free always. Hey, don't miss anything, but if you do miss something, remember this. All 3 hours get posted upon the conclusion of the show, both through iTunes and in our own audio vault. You know, do you think the Georgia situation is going to play out in a similar vein eventually as what happened today with Clemson? All of the off-season talking points have been an awful lot about what would happen in Alabama. That situation in Alabama was the one that really featured all of the conversation. And I remember thinking at that time, well, in a weird way, the Fromm Field situation's more interesting at Georgia.
Yes.
You know, and so I think that's probably next on the docket, I suppose. You know, now you have the situation where Kelly Bryant leaves, realizing that, look, at this point, Lawrence has surpassed him already, and he doesn't feel like sitting around. He's ready to go play, and he's probably frustrated that it played out that way. I don't think it was wise to posit that it was a slap in the face and that he didn't get a fair shot. I think he had a fair shot. I just think that it was probably revealed pretty early on, maybe even in practice, that Trevor Lawrence was the long-term answer there at quarterback. Everybody talked about the boy wonder that is Lawrence. We all saw the way he could spin it, simply a better passer. That's how these things usually play out, by the way. You're noticing that, right? When you look at Tua's situation with Hurts, all these guys that are getting beat out are guys that are incredibly freakishly talented athletes that can really run it and pass enough to hurt you, but they're not really elite-level throwers. And when the elite-level throwers get in there, they pass the guy that's the better athlete. They pass the guy that can really run it because, you know, they're quarterbacks, and you've got to throw the football consistently well.
Well, to win a national title, yeah. And that's what we learned last year in the college football playoff with Kelly Bryant, and also to a degree with Hurts, why Tua comes in the second half of the Georgia game. Well, I mean, unless you're otherworldly at every other position.
Which they are frequently at Alabama, and that's why it's worked for Hurts. But yeah,
Georgia was out Alabama-ing Alabama.
Georgia was going to win the game going away.
Oh, yeah.
Largely because Hurts was not able to make those throws, make those plays. Now, he's a nice college football player. He's not an NFL quarterback. He's a guy that can service an offense, a unique offense, really well because he is so talented. But if you get a guy that can really throw it like Tua, or in the case now of Lawrence, you're going to sit those kinds of quarterbacks. You know, Deshaun can throw it. So when he was there, he could kill you with his legs. But, man, if you gave him time in the pocket, he shredded you. He could really throw it.
And he also made some throws, I mean, especially in the one they lost.
Oh,
you know, he made some throws rolling out to his right, to his left. and he drops it in the bucket through perfect coverage. I mean, you weren't
seeing that from Bryant at all.
No, you're never going to see that.
No,
from Bryant.
No,
but the one thing that I find interesting here is he brings something that Lawrence isn't two-dimensional. Lawrence is
no,
he's
going to sit in the pocket and throw the ball.
Tua can move now, so Tua can bring a couple elements to the table.
It's unfair what they've got at Alabama. They got a kid that can throw it. Yes, he can move. He can really run, and they've got the better offensive line and probably better player at every position. So you're screwed. Alabama is not who we need to compare, but I understand why you just did.
I get it. Bottom line is Bryant wants to play as a quarterback for as much longer as he can, and that's fine. But if you're looking for a championship formula, Bryant was still necessary in my opinion. Third and short stuff, or I mean, you can bring him in as a package quarterback, given that he's still a true freshman that's throwing the football, and he can't run it the way that Kelly Bryant can. You could combine those two into something to make Clemson
which is what
a
he had
better
planned.
contender.
Well, and Dabo had said he was going to do that was what the idea was. But Sweeney said, I mean, not Sweeney. Bryant said that wasn't for him. I didn't know. I don't feel like being demoted. Lawrence is going to start. That's fine. But I've already graduated in May. I'm going to take it on down the road.
It's just interesting that, this rule with the 4 games can move that deadline.
Yeah, it does.
The deadline the player has to say, I'm out of here. They can go through camp. They can go through hell. I mean, you could, I guess, get up into November. If you're a kid who starts at second string and you think you're going to work your way into the starting job by the back half of the season, you could still get a full year of training while knowing full well I'm still transferring at the end of the season. If I get to 5 games, then I've got to make a choice. If it's game number 5, if I'm riding out right now or if I'm going to stick it out and burn my shirt.
I think the hard part is, and I would argue that, and not every coach gets the benefit of the doubt, but I certainly would argue that Dabo Sweeney has proven himself 10 times over to be a guy who is going to put the team's best interest in mind. He's a guy that's going to put the best player on the field to win football games. It can't be anything other than he sees Lawrence as the better player. And, I hate when kids, I get it, are embittered. You want to transfer, go ahead and transfer. To allege that it's a fixed competition is silly.
That is, no, well, I don't think anybody's mad at Dabo. Are they? Is anybody mad at
Bryant? Is.
Other than him?
No.
Perception-wise,
I don't know what
story
nationally. I haven't listened to the other talking heads. No, just my thought would be that would be a silly thing to posit.
Nobody could be mad at Dabo. The better player has earned the job. That's the whole point of football.
That's how it works. That's how it works.
If they don't, then you get a situation like we have here in Tallahassee with when Jimbo was leaving. You get guys who aren't putting in the work, so they haven't earned the job, even though they may have been a great player at one point. And now you've got division in the locker room. If you continue to play Bryant, you would have had division in that locker room.
Right, because players know. Players know the deal, and they've always known the deal, and they're the ones who will tell you.
And if this situation here the last few years has taught us anything, that is a multi-season poison.
Well, once it happens, you poison the well, and until you gut it, I mean, you dry it out and you put more water in there, you're in trouble. I mean, there's nothing you can do. I mean, that's still what's happening to some degree here. The byproduct of that. I mean, look at it. The other thing I would say, and I hope coaches do this, they don't always. It should be a no-brainer. You're the adult here, certainly the more seasoned of the bunch talking to the press. You say exactly what he said today at the ACC teleconference. If you're the coach that makes the decision and then the kid, as frustrating as it may be, chooses to leave, you say what Dabo said at today's teleconference, which is, I'm saddened. I'm disappointed that he chose to leave our team, but I have nothing bad to say about Kelly Bryant. He's a great young man, one of the best young people. I'm reading now from his quote here, the back end of it. He's one of the best young people I've ever been around. I wish him nothing but the best. That's what you do. That's what you do, and you move on. And I think you understand it, too, if you're him. I think it's you got to know that no competitor who's had a chance to start, who's been a part of a lot of wins, including going to the college football playoff last year, is going to handle you walking into a room and saying, we're going with the freshman. We're going with the true freshman. You're going to have a seat this Saturday. Oh, we're going to play you, but you're not the guy right now. Oh, yeah. That's probably not going to go over well.
Well, it's another conversation that coaches have to be prepared to have if they're going to recruit at the level of a Clemson or Alabama or Georgia or hopefully someday, once again, us, is that, before the season starts, listen, you may be the incumbent, but I got a freak here, and I'm not going to promise that you're the starter every single week.
You can't do it.
You're going to earn this job. Every game week, you're going to earn this job.
Go back to Willie saying, it's my job to recruit over you.
And if you're not cool with that, then leave now, because I don't need somebody, jetting in the middle of our season or at the, the third mark of the season. We're through 4 or 5 games here, and now because I'm going to have to play you in a 5th game and you know that you're not going to be a full-time starter, you got to go. I'd rather you leave me in camp. Just go now, because I got to build.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, you want to encourage guys to understand competition and understand that you got to compete. This is what it's all about. I don't know how Nick Saban handled it, for example. It was self-evident in the national championship game. We know the moment we saw Tua, we went, well, that's a wrap. And then they had this whole offseason of nonsense. And, I certainly understood when Hurts and his dad came out and said, listen, we'll transfer if that happens. Well, okay, that's fine. On this show and on the other show I do on Sirius, I said, get ready to transfer because you ain't winning that job. The only reason he was the quarterback in spring was because Tua's hand was broken. So this was a no-brainer. But I understand, too, if you're Hurts, you went 26-2. It hurts, but quarterback wins aren't a stat.
No, well, Nick handled it poorly. We all know that.
He did.
Right down to the end with the Maria Taylor thing. I mean, being such a small man. He looked like he shrunk 6 inches in that little answer.
It made no sense. Anybody watching the guy has been too good, too successful, has gotten it right, has been able to find the balance in a locker room that gets guys to compete at the nth degree every game, year in and year out. How do you mess that up? This was so easy. Now, listen, it's not going to hurt them. They're going to go on to win the national championship, I do believe. Maybe they get upset in a playoff or something, but unlikely.
Well, he was trying to be greedy and get
he wanted
Hurts.
His cake to eat it too, yeah.
I think Dabo in this case probably handled this more on the up and up than Saban did. I mean, you got Hurts complaining to the media in fall camp. So before the season, this is a problem.
Yeah. You know how earlier when we were having this conversation, we were kind of getting into coaches having to deal with something that's different now, and the balance with the new rule, and it's the new redshirt rule, and so we're going to see more of this. Just remember, and this was a big talking point over the summer, the coaches pushed for the rule. So none of them are going to be able to say a word when it happens. They wanted the rule. Jimbo and others have been clamoring for this kind of thing forever.
Yeah, and overall, it's a good rule.
It is a good rule. So there won't be any debate about it. You won't hear too many coaches, and if you do, it's disingenuous because almost all of them at varying points of their career, if they're a high-profile coach, have said this is something that the schools needed, especially for the end of the year and a war of attrition with all that stuff for the bowl games.
Oh, it's a great insurance policy, sure.
Yeah.
And it's a good recruiting tool. You can say, listen, I'm going to play in December.
Yeah.
We'll play in the bowl game. If we don't go to a New Year's Six bowl, which we fully intend to do, but if we don't, I'll get you at least some time in that game so you can be ready for spring camp.
No easy way to do this, folks, but you need a comfortable pillow. I made myself laugh. That's ridiculous. MyPillow.com. Make sure you get the buy one, get one special going on right now. I've got 2 of them. They're very comfortable. I tell you about them because they're comfortable. They're not life-altering. They're just pillows, man. It's not going to change you. It's not like something cool, like a convertible Mercedes or something like that. It's just a pillow.
Well, hang on. No, it's not a fully loaded Pathfinder. Now, that would be really cool.
Well, they're all cool. Cars are cooler than pillows. A lot cooler. Maybe not life-altering. Neither one, really. One is just a car.
I know, but it's a fully loaded
Nissan Pathfinder. Yeah, I love my Pathfinder. But I also love MyPillow. MyPillow.com. Comfortable pillow. Buy one, get one now. Make sure you do that. Go to MyPillow.com. Just make sure you use the promo code 979ESPN.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Play games with your roof. Protect your home and your family. The Parker Brothers tell you the truth. We'll fix your roof, 'cause it's what we do. With quality, integrity, and pride. Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
Hey, this is Wendell Parker of Parker Brothers Roofing. Most startup companies go out of business within their first 3 years. It takes years of experience for a roofing company to be exposed to and learn all the things that can go wrong. Don't gamble your valuable home to an inexperienced roofer. Parker Brothers has been in business in the community since 1995. Give us a call now at 656-8112.
Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
CGC 042221, CCC 049350.
Football is in full swing, and so are the Milwaukee deals at Cornerstone Tool and Fastener. Almost every M18 brushless fuel kit has a $100 off trade-in. Or you can get $150 off trade-in on a 4, 5, or 6-piece M18 fuel combo kit. Buy a Milwaukee M18 High Demand 9.0 starter kit for only $259 and get a free brushless Sawzall. Milwaukee, upgrade, outwork, outlast. Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, the largest Milwaukee selection in the area. It's 1110 Stuckey Ave and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location open on Saturdays, 8 a.m. to noon.
Thursday, September 27th at the Wilbury in Tallahassee. Join WWE Hall of Fame wrestler Jake the Snake Roberts on his Unspoken Word, Tales from the Road Tour. Jake the Snake tells hilarious stories from his days in the ring with Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, and more from the golden age of wrestling. Then follows it up with an audience Q&A. Doors open at 8 p.m. Advance tickets on sale online at ticketfly.com and in town at Retrofit Records, Midtown Pies, Big Chief Smoke Shop, and the Wilbury. Jake the Snake at the Wilbury, Thursday, September 27th.
With football season in full swing, don't forget about fishing our local waterways after the games. Fish are still biting regardless of the score. Sea Quarters Marina, Carabel, Florida. Open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. The marina has a ship store, which includes fuel, bait, tackle, ice, and all of your fishing supplies for the trip. Both diesel and non-ethanol fuel is available. Free Wi-Fi and pump out with boat slip rental. Sea Quarters Marina, 501 St. James Avenue, Carabel, Florida, 697-8400. Visit them online at seaquartersmarina.com.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan, and it's time to roll out the 2018s to make room for the 2019s. So if you've been waiting for a model year-end deal, then come to Kraft Nissan today while the selection is good. We call it Pick 6 Savings, as in all 2018 Rogues, Altimas, Pathfinders, and Muranos are $6,000 off. So pick a Rogue, pick an Altima, pick a Pathfinder, or pick a Murano, and take $6,000 off, and that's what you pay. From S model to Platinum models, all models $6,000 off, and only at Kraft Nissan. And all Titan and Titan XD full-size pickup trucks are $10,000 off. Regular cab, extended cab, crew cab, gas or diesel, all 2018 Titans are $10,000 off. And we will give you $2,000 over Kelley Blue Book for your trade. That's $10,000 off all Titans and $2,000 over Kelley Blue Book for your trade, or a total of $12,000 in discounts on every Titan we sell at Kraft Nissan. But you better hurry. Pick 6 Savings end Monday. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco.
You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
It's a regular season start for the NHL.
It's either next Wednesday or next Thursday.
I was going to say, I've never asked you this. How many preseason games do NHL teams play? They're at 5-6 right now for everybody.
Yeah, you know, for all the love I have for
you
the
don't
NHL,
pay attention to NHL preseason. Yeah.
No. I mean, you care about the reports you get on what younger kids are doing, but I don't give a damn if, you know, superstars are playing well or not.
It's preseason. I got you. I'm the same way.
Well, the regular season's long enough, especially in a season like this where Tampa, it's cup or bust again. Regular season is there for, you know, just very general talking points and developments of younger players. It's not there to live and die on a Thursday in December.
The good news is, Tom, I can give you an answer to my question. They play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 preseason games.
Okay.
And then it's the start of the regular season, Saturday, October the 6th, against the Florida Panthers, specifically for the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah, it's when the Bolts open up late. They do at home against the Panthers, and it's you just got to find little things, man, because if you're peaking in November, then you're screwed. So you're just looking for little things, make the playoffs, and from there, let the chips fall where they may.
How about this stretch, by the way, for the Lightning? Starting October the 20th, they go on the road against Minnesota, followed by Chicago, Colorado, Vegas, Arizona, all on the road. I mean, that is just, here you go. You got a little time on the road, boys. Have some fun with it. In fact, they play 7 of 8 on the road at one stretch.
It's important, though. I'd rather have those roadies earlier for team bonding purposes,
sure,
too.
Yeah, and your legs are still there.
Well, and they got a bit of a crisis of identity still in Tampa. I'll be doing the Joe Bolts Fan podcast starting next week, once a week, which I'm excited about. But
yeah.
I'm really going to disappoint people down there in the first week. I'm just going to say, hey, guys, I'm looking for little things. You know, unless we're losing 5 in a row, I really don't care.
There's no,
you know, you got to look for little things because Washington wasn't a monster until it was overnight.
All right, so you, by the way,
I know I got to change that.
You got to get on board with the goodness here. Oh, also, let's see here. We got to get back to our bold endeavors. We got to get back to we're not on it. We've been so distracted by the level of suck of this football team that we have not been dotting the I's and crossing the T's, Tom Lang. This is not how we'd roll.
You're looking at the Woo Pig Suey record?
I'm looking at the Woo. They're terrible. I know that. How about that? 31. How good is Vegas? That final was 34-3.
Yes, it was.
31 points. That's bizarre. That is bizarre. Right on the number.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
Vegas has it down. I got to say, too, you know, your Redemption Thursday picks are coming up tomorrow, but I'm looking at the lines for this week.
You don't like them? I haven't looked at the lines this week. I haven't done my due diligence. I have not done my due diligence.
I'll have to deep dive on a couple of them, but usually there's one or two that just jump off the page right away, and maybe it's because I jumped in on Wednesday like a fish would, but, you know, nothing yet. The one that I do find interesting, if you go by ESPN's FPI, of course, which is always fun, which is now on the bottom line at all times with the games.
Yeah, they created something and then sell it, yeah.
But I don't know that I disagree with it. So West Virginia has to go out to Lubbock.
Yeah, I knew that. Texas Tech is good this year. I mean, that's kind of stunning. They're usually just, you know, they're talked about because their coach is quote-unquote good-looking.
Right.
But they don't win games.
So the Mountaineers are 3.5-point favorites on the road on Saturday. That's a noon kick out in Lubbock, Texas. So it's going to be the heat of the day out there, or 11 local time. And yet ESPN FPI thinks that the Raiders are the favorite. The Red Raiders are the favorite. That offense looks, I mean, freaking multifaceted. It's not just about throwing the ball 60 times a game.
Your games this weekend are Ohio State, Penn State, West Virginia, Texas Tech, ours, of course, just because we're interested. I would say look out, Texas. You've had a nice little run. Don't get silly and go and lose to Kansas State on the road.
Yeah, that would be a very Texas
loss. It would be. That's why I say look out there. How about the actual intrigue surrounding South Carolina and Kentucky? What? I'm going to watch. Stanford and Notre Dame's a very good game. We're staying up late with Oregon and Cal again, and then that's about it. It's not a great slate. You don't have, you know, there aren't these epic tilts this weekend that we get excited about. I suppose UCF will pound Pittsburgh. Wasn't a real good weekend for the ACC last weekend. My goodness gracious, between Virginia Tech losing to Old Dominion and Boston College getting stomped by Purdue, not a good week. Even Pitt losing to North Carolina, and then you still have...
you circle the hell out of that.
It's just weird.
North Carolina, Miami tomorrow night for Thursday night college football, too. Yeah, I know. So the Canes get a couple extra days to prepare for us on the other end.
Yeah,
but I guess we can get a look at Perry tomorrow.
They should beat North Carolina handily, one would think. I mean, because they're hosting the game, Miami is.
Yes.
So, yeah, that should be a rather easy win on a Thursday night.
So I know the Red Raiders were able to go on cruise control in the second half against Oklahoma State. I did watch a decent amount of that
Crazy
game.
to think about. But
They ran 92 plays, and they split them right down the middle, 46 apiece. And they do have some really shifty and fast weapons that they can use in the jet game. That really, I don't know what to believe in Oklahoma State. I thought that Texas Tech would win that game outright. I thought that was a good chance for an upset, even though they were double-digit dogs. I was right about that. But does that mean that Oklahoma State's terrible and West Virginia is going to lay waste to Texas Tech over the weekend? Or is Texas Tech actually kind of good?
West Virginia beat Tennessee 40-14. They beat Youngstown 52-17. They beat Kansas State 35-6, which was my big circled lock from last week. That Kansas State team is fraudulent. And unfortunately, we didn't get to see West Virginia against NC State because that game was postponed. And I would have liked to have seen what that looked like. I would have picked West Virginia. But this is the stretch now, right? You get West Virginia, Texas Tech, two ranked teams. Then they get to stomp Kansas. They really have a stretch here where until they go on the road and face Texas, West Virginia could have that season that we wait for them to have forever, but they got to, obviously, this is the game, right?
Yeah, the Big 12 has been decent and interesting this year. If you're looking for secondary conferences behind the SEC, Big 10 was good last year. They're good again this year. We're not very good at all anywhere.
It's Clemson and everybody else.
Big 12 is kind of good. They've got 3 or 4 options there that could rise up and beat somebody on a given weekend.
Texas, Oklahoma, West Virginia. I don't know that I include a lot of the other teams because I don't think that TCU is very good.
I think Texas Tech could shock you. Oklahoma State, that's a big win over Boise.
That was
a
win.
Boise team.
That was a great win, and a lot of people thought that Boise team would win. I was amongst them. You're right.
Right.
Yeah,
I think the winner of this weekend's game out in Lubbock,
fair.
At least can throw their hat in the ring as an outside looking in team.
Two usual tent of suspicion squads go to war this Saturday.
But where's that team in the ACC? There isn't.
There isn't. No, Virginia Tech's not good.
BC just got killed by Purdue.
I think BC's pretty good. That was a weird situation I was worried about, but I think they're pretty good. I don't think they're great, but I think they're pretty good. But if you're just talking about on the national scale to threaten a top 10, it's Clemson and everybody else. This is a really sad year for the ACC. As good as it was a few years ago, it's really bad this year. You got Florida State in rebuild mode. Louisville is in collapse mode. And again, North Carolina is North Carolina. Pitt is bad. Virginia Tech just revealed themselves to be bad. Miami's pretty good. For Miami. But nationally speaking, I think Miami's an average team at best. From there, is there anybody else that you think is any good?
Clemson better not slip up because we'll get left out. We'll be one of the conferences to get left out of the dance at the end.
First time ever, as we're the only conference besides the SEC to be in every playoff. That's
correct.
Since it's beginnings there, so probably about right time, right? If Clemson slips.
This is a good weekend though for games in terms of the time slots. That noon game, Big 12 is awesome. Then we played 3:30, and then you got the 2 primetime games. I mean, you're just flipping back and forth between Ohio State and Penn State, and then obviously Stanford and Notre Dame. Those are your 2 games in primetime that you can watch. So everything's laid out neatly for us. Plus, you got the Ryder Cup in the morning.
I was just about to say, there's a whole lot of Ryder Cup going on there, my friend. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
I didn't learn a damn thing in any of my classes. You see, there was this girl I got to know named Bunny who, let's just say, was working her way through school, who sold a great product, cheap, with a smile, and as a result had hundreds of happy customers. And except for that little red light in her window, all her advertising was simply word of mouth. So I didn't worry about all those charts and graphs and formulas. I knew all I needed were the Bunny marketing methods. Sell good stuff, cheap, with a smile. And just like at Bunny's, poor Paul's always has lots of happy customers wanting to spend their money. And that's why that poor kid thought I was so smart.
Headed to the new Gordos, 'cause Eddie hit a home run just like the old Gordos. Ooh-hoo-hoo-hoo.
Jeff, I'm sitting right here, man. Why do you always speak about me in the third person?
Loving the new Gordos.
You gotta quit singing, man.
Got the outside deck. When the weather shifts, I'm gonna sit outside at the new Gordos.
Are we ever gonna get there? Can you speed up, please?
Lots of TVs.
1460 Market Street.
Woo-hoo.
Yo, this is your cup holder talking. You know me, the little round thing between your car seats. Now, listen, we need to talk. Now, I normally have a nice cold bottle of Mountain Dew in me, but at the moment, I'm empty. That's right, no Mountain Dew. Nothing in here but a couple of quarters and a dime. Those 60 cents have been freeloading a ride in me for weeks now. I really don't want to be seen like this. A fully capable cup holder like me just carrying your loose change, it's embarrassing. It's beneath me. Look, I'm not made for loose change. I'm round like a bottle of Mountain Dew. Glistening, cold, and delicious. I'm made to keep Mountain Dew within reach at all times, so you're never far from that incredible bold citrus kick whenever you need it. Just inches from your hand, all snug and secure where it won't tip over or roll under your seat or get hot in the sun. So find a store already. Grab some Dew, toss it back, then place that bottle where it belongs, and put that loose change back in your pocket. That's what pockets are for. Mountain Dew. Do the Dew.
This Day in Sports brought to you by Superlube. Superlube, 19 Tallahassee area locations. Quick, convenient, no appointment necessary.
This day in sports history. September 16th, 1998. The Division I FCS Prairie View A&M Panthers football team beat Langston University 14-12, snapping an 80-game losing streak. From 1989 to 1998, the Panthers didn't win a single game and were outscored by 2,782 points. The team proved it wasn't a fluke and won 2 games that year.
Change your oil at Superlube every 3 months or 3,000 miles for a longer-lasting engine and better gas mileage. Change your oil at Superlube today, and for a limited time, you'll get a free car wash. Right now at Superlube, you never need an appointment. You'll be in and out in no time. And with 19 Tallahassee area locations, there's a Superlube just minutes away right now.
Boy, this place is sure convenient. How I love to Superlube my car, lube my car. How I love to Superlube my car. Yes, sir.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Balls McWednesday. Hope you're well. What's coming up tonight? Front row Noles?
Front row Noles are coming up tonight, and then Braves and Mets, the NL East champion Atlanta Braves.
That's true.
Playing at Citi Field, and obviously there's still some seeding in the NL on the line, so these games are still important.
What, we get that started at 7?
It'll start at 7, yeah, the pregame. I always want to call it Shea. But first pitch in New York is usually at 7:10. So
I'm so glad I got to go to Shea.
Oh, it was the best. It was such an awesome crap hole.
Yeah, it was a crappy ballpark that you needed to go to, and I did. And I saw your boy, the giant fat first baseman, hit a ball 700
Mo
feet.
Vaughn.
Yeah. I saw Mo hit one as far as the eye could see. It was remarkable.
One of my favorite plays I ever saw at Shea Stadium. I was with my cousin, and we made it up from the beach to go to the game there. And it was just me and him. We spent more on beer than we did tickets. The tickets were cheap and the beers were really expensive, and you get these collectibles, which I still have. But Carlos Beltran made a catch to rob a home run, and we were sitting in an angle down the right field line that you could see behind the fence, so you could get an idea of whether or not it's a true robbery, or instead of TV where you're not sure if it was short or what. And he must have robbed it by about a good foot and a half.
Got the whole arm up over the thing.
It was. That is something in sports I don't know that I've seen duplicated in terms of wow factor. You know, you see it on television, all the Gary Matthews and Jim Edmonds and Ken Griffey.
Gary Matthews catch is the greatest catch I've ever seen. It's insane.
And they're wonderful to watch on television. But to see them in person from that angle, oh my, I'll never forget that moment.
Braves fans are yelling at the radio, hey, Jeff, you remember Otis Nixon's catch, right? Yes, I do. Ridiculous. Yes, they have it. They have the ruler and everything. You know, he would have been able to dunk on a 12-foot rim. I've seen it all.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, it's insane. My man loved cocaine coupled with athleticism. It's ridiculous.
I think the craziest play I've seen, and there have been some recently, I know I'm forgetting, but when Bo makes the catch and he runs up the wall.
Oh, it's awesome.
That's like the dumbest thing. That's something out of a Matrix movie.
Well, what's funny about it is that because he is such an incredible athlete, he makes it look so easy that you're inclined to go, whatever. But then go stand at a wall in an outfield and think to yourself, could I run up? No, I can't run up the wall. That's crazy. I mean, who's running up a wall? Yeah, and he just did. Like, he's that kind of strong.
Better chance of happening.
Ran up a wall.
Me doing that or
just falling
paralysis.
flat on my back. Yeah, I'm going to die. Like, my man jumped up and ran sideways for a good long ways on the wall. It's ridiculous. I still laugh about it, too. Every time I see it, I go, you see how simple he made that look? Like, you can't take 1 foot on that wall. My man's running.
I mean, I could have been having a soda, and I checked the soda. Like, what is in this?
This is nuts.
Oh,
he just ran up a wall.
No.
Well, you know what? It's the same thing as when he threw out Harold Reynolds at home plate in an innocuous game on a Tuesday night with nobody watching.
Yeah.
Go back and find that video. Harold's, when he gets tagged out, he said, what? He doesn't know how the ball got there.
Yeah.
He's literally looking around. How did the ball get here? Yep. It was all the way out there at the wall.
There's I know that clip because I've watched You Don't Know Bo, and so obviously they have all of his exploits, which were cut short across the board. But the only players I've seen do things like that, Jeff Francoeur.
Had Cannon, yeah.
I mean, that's an all-time arm.
Raul Mondesi had an all-time arm.
Mondesi.
Dave Parker back in the day, because I'm old.
I mean, he can't really play the outfield all that well, but Cespedes has a cannon of an arm where he's thrown from like a flat foot on the warning track and gotten somebody at home.
Yeah, but he's terrible off the bat. He can't read the half the time he has to do that because he couldn't make.
He's got the makeup speed, thankfully. Yes.
All right.
That's like Dion. If he was terrible at getting juked by a receiver, he would still be an average NFL cornerback because he'd have makeup speed for it. But he
track speed in a in uniform. Like people would always talk about football players and track stars, and here's the deal: a lot of guys can run really, really fast, but if you put a uniform on them with the pads and the helmet and everything else, they don't sustain that same speed that they have on the track. He did.
The one guy we're missing in that regard right now, Cam. Clearly, his leg's not healthy.
Yeah, he didn't look right. And let's do this, actually. You and I, let's talk about this. It's time for the vision check, and you can cue it up.
Open your eyes.
My glasses! I can't see without my glasses!
My glasses! I can't be seen without my glasses!
That is absolutely horrendous!
I don't believe this call is accurate.
Everything is proceeding as I have foreseen.
Man, I can see!
You lack vision.
It's time for the vision check.
As brought to you by the Law Office of Jose Fernandez. They don't get paid until you do. The Law Office of Jose Fernandez, offices Miami, Tallahassee. All right, well, it's interesting you bring that up. I know you went back and watched the game again. I have a couple of times. And some observations here again, and you just alluded to one. Cam's not Cam right now. He's playing through something with that foot or that ankle. The other thing is this offense doesn't necessarily suit him. He's got to be patient in a way that, it kind of takes away from the one-cut, foot-in-the-ground go that he did under Jimbo's offense, just straight pro style, hit the line. He's having to move laterally and wait for things, and I think that coupled with being hurt is revealing that right now he's not our best option.
Well, yeah, if you need somebody to be a quick hitter right now, you probably want Rasul.
Yeah, I think it was pretty evident, right?
But the problem is, even when he's getting an opportunity to, hit a quick hitter, somebody fails in front of him or the quarterback fails.
Oh, well, there's no question that it's hard to gauge exactly how much he's affected because the blocking's so poor.
There's a couple of blocks in the first half of this game where if if you do what you're supposed to do, you even have the guy squared up, but it's a failed assignment, a missed assignment, missed angle, or whatever it is. I mean, he's got 10, 20 yards. And who knows after that, because then if he gets up to fifth gear, he might need more time, but then who does he become?
Right.
There was another one where I think it might be a touchdown or at least inside the 5-yard line, but DeAndre chooses to throw to Keith Gavin in the flat. And it's just one of those where I'm like, God, all you got to hit on is one of them, and then who knows? Does it become contagious for him? There was one run in particular I saw in the second half where Cam looked like Cam. And maybe it's about, faith in that leg or the ankle or whatever it is that's ailing him. Remember, Dalvin Cook, lest we forget, who was incredible when it comes to...
Yeah, remember we were saying, what's wrong with him?
Hamstring awareness and all that kind of
the
stuff.
The Ole Miss game where he opted to go out of bounds.
Right.
And then all that. He would turn his back and,
There was the USF game where he's seen on the sidelines in agony.
Shoulder.
And then remember, he was on Season With, which for all as careful as we are with injuries, we decided to let film of him with something on his shoulder leak out to the world.
Well, and the best is Jimbo telling everybody, he's fine.
Well,
nothing wrong.
And then what it ended up becoming, which I believe was the truth, was he's just got to trust it. And I wonder where Cam is. I don't want to be unfair to him, but I wonder where he is in terms of still being hurt or if he's got to trust it or not. But there's clearly something hindering him more than just the scheme.
Yeah, I think he had a bit of an ankle sprain at the first game of the year against Virginia Tech.
He was hobbling all around the damn field.
He was getting hammered on every play, doing flips. They were hitting him so hard. It was just they teed off on the kid.
It's also uncanny. He's getting hit hard a lot in that area. Maybe it's because
unlucky.
People are trying to. I don't know. But he is getting, yes, it is uncanny the amount that it's happening to him in that area.
Well, he gets hit quick. The other problem is he's such a strong kid. There's enough evidence on film from a year ago that he'll hurt you if you don't go low. And so defenders don't like getting embarrassed the way Chris Conte did the other night. My God. That was... I'm glad he's on the IR. And I'm serious about this because at least I could say, well, he got hurt. I mean...
All right, so
just ego.
So Schefter put out a report today that he was playing with a torn PCL, and he just gutted it out, and he probably shouldn't have been on the field in the first place. Well, here you go. Captain Bumble, you-know-who, down in Tampa again, asked yesterday if it's been a lingering injury for Chris Conte, and he says, I don't know what the medical reports say. Dude, all you got, lie if you don't lie. Even if that's not true, you lie. You say he shouldn't have been out there in the first place, guys, if you knew what he
never takes opportunities to help his players in the press. And it's part of the job description. I know that maybe in yesteryear you didn't have to do that as a coach. You were concerned with scheme, concerned with organizational things behind the scenes, but you are a mouthpiece for the organization. And if you want guys to go to battle for you, they have to trust you. They have to believe that you have their best interest in mind. And so frequently he reveals that he's indifferent to that cause, that he's not a guy that's going to stand up for a stand-up guy.
Right. So it's his press conference from yesterday. I got this information backwards. Schefter put out that it was a PCL tear. He probably shouldn't have played, and now he's on IR. That's the reason why. Today. Then I go back earlier, and I watched that press conference, and I see that question was asked, and I go, are you kidding me? You know what that means? That when that happens, Conte's team reaches out to Schefter and says, hey, man, by the way,
my man's playing on a torn PCL.
Yeah, could have used that info on a Tuesday from the head coach.
That said,
either way, it's an all-timer. Ain't nobody there's not going to be an asterisk and a note at the bottom of the highlight reel when that happens.
Well, because it's also terrible technique. Now, maybe that's born out of the problem with the PCL. I don't know.
You're worried about your knee, and it is a sloppy track.
But my man, we just looked at each other at Bumpus, just...
Oh, the whole place erupted. Bucks fans just the same as Steeler fans.
Oh, I mean, that's one of those.
In that moment, we all wear the same color jersey, which is, oh my God.
No, sir. You have a family. No. Well, it's a double down effect. First, it's a get off me, and then it's, okay.
It's like, get off me and get off me again. And I mean it this time.
Yeah, emphatically so. And then I'm going to take it to the house, which makes it even worse. Which I'm just going to go ahead.
Yeah, there's nobody there.
Yeah,
it's like this guy's running a 5.240 and there's nobody in the frame.
Jogging to the end zone. There's nobody around.
Oh, you're the last line of defense.
So let's go back to this on the vision check real quick and put a bow on it. The thing about when you rewatch these games, there are plays being left on the field. Part of that is, again, I just don't think DeAndre's completely comfortable running the offense, and I don't know that he's going to be. Maybe he will. I'll hold out hope. I'm never going to never say never. Right now, he's just too many times during the course of a game, if you go back and watch it, you realize he missed, and it's frustrating. That said, threw the ball real well in the first half, so I can't get too angry at him there. He was accurate, threw the ball well, and when he had opportunities, he made plays.
There's one thing I would love to know, and I'm sure that, Willie has a certain idea of what he wants, and Coach Bell the same. Like they say, here are your priorities. If this happens, then screw option 2. But we had 3 or 4 plays where we have this really weird formation. It's like a quad stack to the right. It's not quite a symmetrical diamond look, but it's just kind of a huge stack of receivers to the right-hand side. And then to the left, Keith Gavin's lined up, and he's to the boundary, and that group of guys is to the field. And there are 2 throws that he absolutely could and should make to Tamorrion Terry because you have numbers out there and he may score, But Keith Gavin, there's off coverage, and he can take 6 yards right in front of him, and it's an easier throw, one that takes less time.
Yeah.
I just wonder what our rules are in that situation. Does one, trump the other in terms of counting? It's like, so the counting says I'm throwing to the right, but he's got a 10-yard cushion.
He's going to give me 6 yards.
And it's 2nd and 4.
Yeah.
What do you want me to do in that situation?
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, you know what? I don't know if he'll say that publicly, but I'll ask him because I'm curious too. And we are still learning the principles of this offense. We're still figuring out some of what DeAndre's being asked there. I'm not presuming every time that I see something upon replay that because it could have gone for a big number that was the right read.
No, you got rules, just like just like Jimbo's offense. They may be different in the way they look at things, but we ran that thing about 4 times, and then the back 2 of which were design runs to DeAndre, and he got tripped up on one of them, and they started running for 15 because we gave him that base look so many damn times, but he falls in love with 89 a little bit.
He does. Well, guys have their favorites, that's for sure. That said, the other part of this vision check is that obviously you came to the same conclusion I did. We give up far too many plays in coverage. We're real good against the run. We're attempting to pressure. We don't get home. But Barnett is aggressive. And there are 2 things about Harlon Barnett that I've already fallen in love with is that he stops the run by and large, and I will take that all day long because that's a number 1 way to get beat is allow teams to run on you. And then secondly, if you make a mistake, you come off the field. My man corrects people in the moment, in the now. You come with me. You go in there for him. And then let me explain to you why I pulled you off the field.
Another multi-layered question I have in rewatching us is how healthy is Stanford Samuels from the injury he suffered in preseason camp where they thought it was going to be long-term and then he was available for what, like 5-10 snaps in the Virginia Tech game. How healthy is he and how agile is he? Because I'm wondering if that informs some of our blown coverages in the back end. And also, if he is agile enough, what is our depth at that position? What's our depth chart? Would you be better off if Stanford's 100% to place him at corner again? If Levante's going to be chasing somebody by 3 steps twice a game, then we're in big trouble when there's a good quarterback out there. If that kid was Hodges, like Stanford's quarterback got to play again here last week, they would have hit 5 or 6 shots down the field. And we would be in a dogfight.
And that kid was terrible for Northern Illinois.
That's what I'm saying.
He's a terrible quarterback.
We blew a lot more coverages than just the highlight reel plays for Northern Illinois.
It's got some personnel issues. It's the Jeff Cameron Show. That was the Vision Check brought to you again by the Law Office of Jose Fernandez. They don't get paid until you do. The Law Office of Jose Fernandez. Offices Miami, Tallahassee. Come back, get into the probables. Let's do this thing.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Don't forget, by the way, if you've got a do-it-yourself project that needs to be finished, go visit my friend Rick or Austin and the knowledgeable staff at Cornerstone Tool and Fastener. To get all your power tool needs, 2 locations to choose from, 1110 Stuckey Avenue and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Call them at 580-1200 or online at ctf.nu. Yeah, and they're open from 8 until noon on Saturdays. The Tallahassee location is, so good times there. I was doing some yard work just the other day, Tom. Getting after it.
How was it?
I enjoy yard work.
You really do?
I do. I put on headsets and I go into some podcast or an album, like a new album that I'm excited about, and then it's again, I've always compared it to vacuuming. I like vacuuming too. Seeing something done when it's over. Plus, I love the smell of fresh cut grass, buddy.
Well,
always have.
Yeah, that's a tough one to beat.
It's the best.
Yeah. That reminds me of both golf and baseball.
Yeah, it's great.
Not soccer for some reason, but specifically golf and baseball.
Reminds me of football. Reminds me of practice. And I don't know that I love practice, but I always love that smell. It felt like a possibility. There were new beginnings. It always felt like something that you could grab onto and kind of, seize in the moment. Like, okay, it's our time to do something.
Jamie would argue with me of late, but dishes, that's where I go into the zone.
Yeah,
Football
like
season, I've
dishes,
been neglectful, but once you get started, man, you could do that for 45 minutes and just really get after it.
Same thing. You can do that with headsets or not. Doesn't matter.
We also have, one of those.
I also like it to be scalding hot, Tom. I want my hands to be borderline burned. Like I want.
In the dishes. I thought you meant outside. When have you ever wanted that for yard work?
No. The opposite of this is true is that. No, I'm saying when my hands are in there, I want it to be uncomfortable. Like, because I just feel the germs are dying. I'm like, look at them.
I have this, there's this odd peaceful thing that we have too that's, we have a coffee table with 4 little glass inserts.
Mm-hmm.
They're equally spaced out, but then you take them out and you Windex them. And you clean
Isn't that
those.
nice? Don't you like looking at it afterwards?
Windexing things is
Windex.
pretty awesome
Yep,
see the process there of how much better you're making things.
You know what else? I like when things are not turning the way they're supposed to, and you get a little WD-40 on them.
Oh, yeah.
A little WD-40.
Get rid of the squeak,
you're
too.
Like, oh, look at that. Look at that. Now you're working. It's time for probables. Cue it up, sir.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching, probables?
Second game of a day-night doubleheader will be Orioles and the Red Sox. Chris Sale goes tonight for the Red Sox, who just win all the damn time.
There's only 2 more days of probables.
It's crazy. It's weird. Well, we'll have probables for the playoffs, but yeah, not a long laundry list.
A bridge,
Yeah. It hurts. It hurts. But when it comes back around, we'll be smiling away.
Yeah.
Baltimore hasn't decided who they're going to throw. The Marlins and the Nats. Yi Chen goes for the Marlins. Kyle McGowan goes for the Nats. Astros, Blue Jays, Chris Davinsky and Sean Reed Foley. Sounds like a bad 1980s actor. Like a child actor. Oh, Sean Reed Foley. Remember, he lost it. Got into coke.
He was the other guy in Weird Science with
Yes,
Anthony Michael
of
Hall.
course. Royals, Reds, Heath Fillmyer, Cody Reed. We got the Braves and the Mets. Sean Newcomb, Jacob deGrom. I take it to beer. Brewers, Cardinals. Ugh. Jules Chassin goes against John Gant. We got the Yankees and the Rays. Masahiro Tanaka, Ryan Stanek. My Buccos, who have beaten the Cubs yet again last night. Just continue to make life hard on them. Now up to 80 wins. Like a third of the payroll, just 10 games back of the Cubs.
That Kyle McGowan who's starting for the Nats, he was the Savannah State kid who pitched here in a regional years and years ago.
Did you look it up?
Yeah, because he was a stud. He was like, he had a
it
sub
is.
2 ERA or whatever the hell it was. Same guy.
Jose Quintana goes for the Cubs tonight. Ivan Nova goes for my Buccos. Let's hope we get the sweep at Wrigley. The Indians and the White Sox, Shane Bieber and Jace Fry. We got the Tigers and the Twins, Matthew Boyd, Jake Odorizzi. Phillies, Rockies, Nick Pivetta, Herman Marquez. Dodgers, D-backs, Ross Stripling, Zach Greinke. Rangers, Angels. Yohander Mendez goes for the Rangers. Andrew Haney goes for the Angels. A's, Mariners, great story. Edwin Jackson goes for the A's. Felix Hernandez. Oh, Felix. Hard to watch this guy, man, right now. You got to call it a day.
Yeah, you pour one out tonight for King Felix.
That's just it right here. He hasn't pitched since September the 8th due to a sore hamstring. He returns. He hasn't won a game since June.
And Prince Albert.
It's nearly October. Hasn't won a game since June.
Oh, buddy. How about one more time? Vintage. One more fight left in the heavyweight champ.
In Felix's last 10 outings, he's 0-7 with a 6.14. That's no way for a man of his greatness to go out. That's just not what we do.
It's very Matt Harvey of you.
Once that went, it went. I mean, did you notice that? Felix went from King Felix dominant to can't pitch at all.
Yeah, Priest Holmes.
Yeah, just nuts. Padres, Giants, Luis Perdomo, and Casey Kelly. And that is a look at those that shall reside on the bump.
It's better than this.
Yeah, man. Oh, I'm getting excited about the Louisville game. I didn't think I'd say that. I am. I'm pumped up. Yeah, it's going to be ugly. That's a little 13-10 jobber.
Yeah.
All right.
There's the sadist. It's the one where...
Let's watch.
This is one of those Raycom games. I know it's not on Raycom, but this is one of those Raycom games where the announcers, they sound frustrated in the third quarter. Like, well,
yeah,
it's another drop.
Yeah. And yeah, it's going to be... that'll bring up 4th down and 11.
Louisville will be forced to punt again.
Yep. Their 9th punt of the half. Yeah, and then... Yeah. Well, the sad part is whenever I think of that, I think of Hogwood's halftime and pregame shows, and they just don't exist anymore because he's dead. So you won't have that. You don't even have that to fall back on. Amidst all the punts, there is no Hogwood. I could always fall back on the Hogger. But alas.
It's painful. I am speechless on this one.
I can tell. Good work out of you. Good work, Matthew. And the Front Row Knowles are up next. Great show. I know that the great Tim Linnefeld will be part of it today. Who'd they have as a guest? Anybody else? Oh, he didn't know.
Oh, Matthew's checking the rundown.
Matthew's like, I don't have the rundown. I don't know. They may have somebody, they may not. But Tim will be there. I know that. It'll be good stuff. Stay tuned, everybody. That's up next. And you guys be well. Talk to you tomorrow.